bottom.
Identity confirmed.
I don't know. I
Transport
would
fee
assume,
waived courtesy of Balaam. The tournament awaits. Please declare all Institute relics.
It's
Throw away
starting.
all loose ammunition. Welcome to Rubicon 3.
Got a job for you,
Abide by
621.
Rubicon.
Armored Aces! Rubicon Rumble!
Heard the good news from Walter, did ya? We're going on a field trip, kiddo!
Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, we're live? We're rolling?
I believe so.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever the heck you are at on this lovely planet
Wow.
of Rubicon 3.
Wow.
Welcome to our tournament. Welcome to Armored Aces.
Welcome to Armored Aces.
Hi D.
Which reminds me, I need to put the music back on for... yeah, that should be good. Yeah, hi everyone. This is our tournament.
Hello.
Welcome to Armored Aces Rubicon Rumble, our first ever and hopefully not our last
It is
mech
hot
tournament.
time indeed.
We are live at Boss Arsenal number 2. For some reason, we got a really good deal on real estate over there. It's completely vacant.
Yeah,
Don't
they were
know
practically
why.
giving it away. It was insane. They
Yeah.
practically just handed us the keys and ran away. No idea what that's all about, but I'm sure that it's not a big deal. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. So what do we got on the menu today for the tournament?
Well, first we got to introduce ourselves. I mean, I know it's your channel, but we should probably tell everybody who we are in case they're brand new.
Right. Hi, my name is Daisy. I work for, I need to ask them again, but I do work for Balaam. I think I still work for Balaam. They're kind of usually don't keep up with the payroll that much. Sometimes they pay, sometimes they don't. It kind of depends on how they feel that day. But yeah, I work for Balaam, and you know, I was in correspondence with this little fennec creature from Schneider,
Oh, wow.
and we thought that, you know,
Oh,
it's
wow.
a bit of a shame that amongst all the carnage and destruction on Rubicon, there's not just some good old-fashioned like arena fighting for the, you know, for all the independent mercs that are out there. And so I got in touch
Or the
with them.
corporate ones.
Yeah, because for this tournament, everyone is welcome, no matter the affiliation, right? This time around, it seems like the corporations were a little bit, kind of not, probably didn't want to get involved in something that was like brand new because we mostly got independent mercs. But you know what? That kind of works just fine because independent mercs are really unpredictable.
But don't worry, we've got plenty of corporate sponsorships. You'll hear about them more in the future. Hi, I'm Spiral Galaxy. I'm Daisy Bunny's co-host, and as she said, I am currently on contract with Schneider. And nobody else. Yep, definitely, just Schneider.
Yay, time for murder.
We've got a heck of a show for you today, everyone. We're gonna put on a big presentation. Daisy and I have both been working super hard on getting all of the assets ready for this tournament. We hope that you all enjoy, and we hope that you all enjoy the competition.
Hi,
and
Spiral
give a
Lexi.
good old-fashioned good luck and have fun to all of our competitors. We've got a total of 8 people here participating in this tournament. Just to go over the format a little bit. how we're going to organize things today is we are going to do a double elimination style tournament in a best 2 out of 3 format, meaning that our competitors have to win 2 out of 3 matches in order to proceed. And then the next person will get their first elimination, but they will have the opportunity to make it to the semifinals by participating in the quote-unquote losers bracket. If they win the losers bracket, then they get to be the second of 2 competitors out of each group, A and B, that will participate in the final 4. Due to time constraints, we are going to be having the Final Four and the finals in their own separate stream. That will be a future live streamed tournament to be determined at a later date based on everyone's schedule. But we still got a lot of matches for you here today, 10 in total. It's going to be a really good time.
Yeah, I can hear my computer sort of creaking under the pressure of the sheer number of sources I have to record to make all this possible. Because to be honest, while we are technically not forbidden by our corporations to do this tournament, I think they're like we're fine with this as being an experiment. They also did not provide us with any material support other than some sponsorship deals which allowed us to buy, you know, some things, which remind me that like once the break rolls around, we need to make sure to say them.
What do you mean? Did you not get a new car out of this? Did they not
What?
give you the car?
What? You got a car
Yeah.
out of this?
Yeah, I got a car. It transforms into an MT.
No, I think I got swindled by Balaam. They were like, they said to me like, you should feel privileged that we wouldn't want to like give you a little bit
Those
of the
Balaam
currency for this.
cheapskates. Those Balaam cheapskates. My goodness. Jeez, undercharging for everything.
I
Almost
wouldn't
makes you
work.
wish you worked for Arquebus, right? Just kidding. Nobody wants to work for Arquebus.
Well, I have to admit, I wouldn't be working for Balaam if it wasn't for Michigan, because Michigan is kind of a bit of a dreamy stud, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm hoping
sure
maybe
he'd
I
be
get a
delighted
chance
to
with
hear
them.
that.
Okay, I believe, unless correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the first segment of the tournament should start, the first matchup.
Yeah, let's get
If
our
I'm
first
not
match
mistaken.
going.
Let's
We gotta
let's-
introduce our competitors.
Yes, right. Let's take a quick look at the matchup screen, at the bracket screen, just to see who are the first 2 that are going to be fighting. So as you can see, there's going to be 2 groups with 4 competitors each in each group, and evidently in Group A, round 1 is going to be Alexia versus Stardust, aka Red Oni. So we're going to introduce those 2 cuties. I spent a lot of time working on material to really promote the mechs that are going to be participating. So here's hoping that I don't screw it up. So
Well, you know what they say, Daisy. Show, don't tell.
Right. Okay. All right, Daisy. Focus now.
She's a nervous bun. Give her lots of love.
All right. So, right. And so, first of all, we're going to introduce Vespa.
So, can you tell us a little bit about Vespa, Daisy?
Oh, did you want us to comment on this part, or like after the cool action scene?
You make a good point. Let the footage speak for itself.
So that is Vespa with their very, very unique mech, the Bumblebee. The Bumblebee has above average armor and decent stability, although the attitude recovery is going to suffer a little bit with their current setup. As you can see they have a lot of weapons on that mech. Thankfully, they do have the energy capacity to power this whole setup, but they are a much heavier mech than average. I think that they're going to do pretty good in this tournament. It's a lot of people tend to try to min-max. They tend to min-max their ability to carry weapons. Either go for a build that is entirely offensive or entirely defensive, or mobility. That's kind of the three extremes that most mercenaries seem to sort of hover around. But it seems like Vespa with their Bumblebee here has a good balance of armor, mobility, and weaponry. So I think they're going to do very well in this tournament.
Yes, I gotta say, I have extensive experience monitoring our dear Vespa's progress. I've seen many of her builds over time, and I gotta say, this one is probably one of the best. A nice balance of weight to mobility, coupled with plenty of excellent features and suppressive fire capabilities. Also, she's rather fond of punching, so I'm told.
Yeah, I hope that they do well in the battlefield. So we should probably move on to participant number 2.
Yep, same
which
here.
Is
Best of luck to
going
Vespa.
It's just going to be Stardust, also known as Red Oni. So I am going to
Let's take a look.
Please welcome Anvil Crawler Heavy. That's their mech. So make sure we got the right video. You have to understand, usually we would have a full production team to help us do things, but we have to do everything manually. So we're taking care of everything from the top down, which means that I'm going to be sometimes mumbling about sources and scenes
Popsicle
and
sticks
stuff
and
like
glue,
that.
everyone. Popsicle sticks and glue. It's
I
the
think we did
makings
pretty
of
well.
every good live stream.
Yeah, I think we did pretty well, though. I think we managed to bring in something together that was a cohesive package, so to speak. But
I
anyway,
agree completely. Let's show them that cohesive package. Cough, cough.
yeah. So, Anvil Crawler Heavy, everyone.
Boom. So as the name implies, Anvil Crawler Heavy is a heavier set mech. Very, very good at duking it out with the best of them, getting in slug matches and coming out strong. Overall, Red Oni considers this to be a medium-range mech, and I would generally be in agreement, although I will say that short-range laser shotgun is a menace. It packs a punch. This is an AC that can do it all, and do it all in style. Look at that paint job. Look at those decals. You're going to get eliminated on the battlefield, and you're going to get eliminated in the best way possible, and you're going to love it.
Oh, right. So yeah, let's
got
get
for
a
that
good
intel?
look at that mech. Yeah.
Join the Rubicon Liberation Front through a series of wacky misunderstandings. #1 smuggler of Gunpla on Rubicon 3 is usually the squad cheerleader. And for reference, everyone, the statistics that you see at the beginning of these introductions are by comparison to the default AC on Rubicon 3, aka Loader 4. So if you're wondering what those are comparing to, that's what it is.
But yeah.
So Daisy, what do you
suppose-
think of this mech?
I think that definitely in terms of the amount of armor that Anvil Crawler is bringing to the table is definitely something that's going to be quite needed. As you can see, the mech itself is a pretty big target, but it does allow it to carry a lot of weaponry. So bigger target means a higher hit ratio from the enemy, which means more armor is needed to make sure that the vital components of the mech keep working long enough for, hopefully Anvil Crawler to pummel their enemies into dust. On the whole, it does seem like they're on the slower side, so they're going to have to be really careful when they match up, if they do match up against a mech that is lighter, although that should be less of a concern if they do make it later in the tournament, as the participants are allowed to switch away from their main mech and to mix things up after the first round.
Loadout swaps are allowed. However, for this first match, everyone is locked into the ACES that you see here. And I gotta say, as much as I enjoy being a speedy creature myself, speed isn't everything. If you've got the brawn to back it up, it doesn't matter if you're a little on the slow side. If you can outduel the enemy AC and outlast with more AP left over, you're still the winner. Doesn't matter how many times they smack you around.
Yeah, exactly. Although I will say that I do see them carrying an assortment of plasma launchers, which are notoriously difficult to dodge because of the splash damage on impact. That is a setup that is often used, especially against lighter mechs, because even if you can't sort of pin them down, you can more often than not win the attrition war by just causing a death by 1,000 cuts, so to speak.
Take it from me, energy weapons are exceptionally powerful and exceptionally effective.
Okay, so that is the introductions for our first two combatants. Although I think we did miss the intel for Vespa here, so let's take a quick look.
It was still on screen.
Were we able to see? Okay, so this intel is been provided by Dafong, so who knows how accurate that is, but it's some information on the competitors. So Vespa is an independent merc. She is apparently Employee of the Month, Employer of the Year at Boss Arsenal number 2, despite never working there. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing her on the employee roster when we got the deed to the place.
Yeah, can be best described as a creature. That's not very professional. Squeaks a lot, bites only when cornered. Well, that's good to know if you're stuck in the room with her, I suppose.
A bee that bites. Interesting.
Oh, all right. So, I believe that. Are we ready for the first matchup? Is it actually happening?
I think we are. We've got our competitors here lined up. I've got the B-roll recording, so we've got the action.
All right, great.
We are all set to go.
Again, we will remind people once in a while that the way it occurs is it's winner of the best 2 out of 3 sets is going to move on to the next bracket, move forward in the bracket. The loser is not disqualified right away. They go in the loser's bracket.
Yep. So each match is first to 2 wins in order to win the match, and you have to win 2 matches to proceed in the bracket. And like Daisy said, the losers will have an opportunity to come back. The overall winners going to the Final 4 are going to be the winner of the overall first matches and the winner of the losers bracket in Group A and Group B. But yeah,
okay.
I think we're ready to go, Daisy. Let's get this match started.
Yeah, let's will the competitors ready up, and let's get this first match on the way. Let's open with a bang. I'm so nervous that I'm like trembling a little bit. This is so exciting.
I'm just as excited too, and our corporate sponsors are frothing at the mouth to see the fruits of their labor.
Okay, so match number 1, everyone. It is going to take a minute for the camera drones to boot up and go through cycle through their through their warm-up procedure. So on the left
And there we
side, we have Vespa with the Bumblebee. On the right side, we have Red Oni with a heavy Anvil Crawler. There we go. All right,
All right,
both
and as you can
competitors.
see, as is typical of Vespa, she is starting out high in the air.
Yeah, both competitors being very aggressive. Usually, a lot of mercenaries tend to like stand back and try to, measure each other up. But it seems like these two, they're just duking it out. No waiting, no subtlety, just
Vespa
pure
making
fighting.
good use of that constant harassment with the shoulder-mounted minigun.
Oh, they got stunned. They used their shield, which puts them at a slight disadvantage. But Red Oni just got also stunned. Although Vespa is a bit of a disadvantage right now, so she's going to need to make up that health disparity between the two of them.
Thus far,
Staying
it
in the
seems
air
like
as
Red
always.
Oni's doing a pretty good job of keeping her at bay, not letting her get too close and not letting her get too far away either.
Yeah,
Red Oni
it's
is
still-
at the biggest advantage at medium range.
Yeah, it's still anyone's game at the moment. Although it
Getting
does
close to that
seem like
stagger.
they're both are in danger of getting
Ooh.
staggered. Oh, and
Both of
Vespa
them missed the point-blank
goes
shots, but
down.
Red Oni
Oh.
got Vespa at the end there. Both of them had those high-damage shots. They both managed to expertly dodge, but at the end, it was just a matter of attrition. Let's see what happens in Phase 2.
Let's switch perspective to Red Oni here. The opening salvo. Both competitors, again, just going at it. No
One
restraints.
thing I love about both of these competitors is that they're always keeping a charged shot at the ready. You can tell because of all the glowing on each of their weapons. Ooh, that was a nice one. Oh, with the stagger.
Some nasty hits right there.
Good chunk of damage. Vespa has assault armor, so in order to make good use of that, she's gonna have to catch Red Oni by surprise.
Both again on danger of being staggered.
Ooh, missed that charged shotgun shot.
It's
Oh, that's a
50-50.
solid amount of damage. Red Oni at about half AP. Vespa keeping up. Vespa's
about-
aerial style is actually quite good against those plasma missiles. The plasma missiles are best at enemy units that tend to stay on or near the ground.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like Vespa has a bit of a bad matchup right now because they're trying to stay in the air, but those plasma launchers just do not give a hoot.
As far as I can tell, a lot of them are missing, actually. It seems that taking the aerial approach is kind of an advantage. Red Oni coming in with the pulse armor, trying to make a play.
Ooh.
And Vespa goes down. That seemed to be the advantage. Red Oni wins match 1.
Let's see that again. Let's get that instant replay in. Oh, what a nasty shot. Finishing them off
Ah.
with the energy weapon.
Ah. It's a good thing that Red Oni's got those energy weapons because that's one of the handful of things that can make it really easy to take out aerial targets. That said, we shouldn't count Vespa out yet. She still has every opportunity to succeed.
Okay. We do seem to have a little bit of stutter on the stream at the moment. Let me diagnose that real quick. I believe that I think if I do restart the game, I think that might help a little bit. So, how about I do that real quick? Again,
Looks fine on my end.
Oh, did it look fine on your
Yes.
stream?
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw a report of a little bit of stutter.
Yeah.
Can
that's
we
gonna
ask
happen.
our spectators? Has the stream been stable for you? Has it been stuttering a little bit? I did see a little bit of stutter on my end, but I'm not sure if it's my internet connection or.
What you could do, Daisy, is turn down the stream on Discord as low as possible. Turn it down to 480p, 30 FPS.
Yeah. We're chaining quite a number of things together to make all of this work. So 15, 40p. Okay, we got that.
I'm off into the void.
I might also have to, unfortunately, consider not streaming on YouTube as well because that is eating.
Oh,
a
you're
lot
streaming
of
on 2
resources as well.
platforms?
Yeah.
Yes, as much as I would like to admit that we want to stream to as many people as possible, there's a lot of moving parts here. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to disable the YouTube stream, and in fact, I would probably recommend it.
Yeah, we
YouTube
might go
watchers,
with
if you want to catch us in the future, you can always check out the VOD, and we will definitely have clips posted of this match.
Yeah, it's very likely that we'll just post the entire match, the entire VOD on YouTube anyway. So
If you take the YouTube stream down, that should be more than enough.
yeah, I think that. Well, let's go for probably the second round. So do we have anyone else that has frame? Okay, yeah, I will have to swallow my pride here and say, sorry if you're watching on YouTube. But I think I have to consider stopping the stream on YouTube, just to free up some overhead. I also tried a new stream setup, which might be causing some issues.
I didn't even realize you were simul streaming.
Yeah, I just do it usually, so it wasn't like a big deal, but it's not like I was able to test it, unfortunately. And also the way that the CPU handles load is just not something you can really predict unless you actually do the thing that, like, do the stream itself, which is like not very practical a lot of the times. But yeah, so I apologize if you're watching on YouTube. Please consider switching to Twitch. I am very sorry, but yeah, we're kind of running by the seat of our pants here. I think that's how the expression goes.
Yep.
Okay.
Welcome back, Left.
All right.
I'm still all Gucci and good to go, so...
Good. We are back on air. This seems like...
Oh, we're live again?
Yes, we are live again. I wanted to
heck
get it off the
yeah.
ground as fast as possible.
Excellent, excellent.
I wonder if perhaps... Let me change which window you're rendered in. That would... like...
Oh wow.
Let's leave you there. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. We'll see. Well, we have a lot of things. You have a really elaborate setup where what you're recording on isn't what you're playing on, right? If that makes sense.
Check your headphone connections if this was from the big tug. Oh yeah, that's definitely possible, as if your headphones got removed. That might do it. And we're back.
Lots of technical issues.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone. You know, I gotta say, maybe it wasn't the right call for us to take this free spot at Baus Arsenal 2. We're kind of having a lot of consistent technical difficulties. It's almost like we're getting some kind of strange interference.
Yeah, I mean, I kicked the box extra hard, so hopefully that fixed it. And as cool as the instant replay is, it's probably something that's going to need either some refining or some troubleshooting. Not going to happen
sticks
tonight.
And glue.
Also, it probably is the thing that's been lagging me, so that's all another thing.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, but I think I would need like two computers. One that's like the streaming computer, and the other one that's like the one where like everything else is rendered on with OBS. Oh well. This is why, you know, you can't get better at doing something other than doing it. And right now, let me tell you, we're doing it. I guess this stream's gonna be a 3-parter.
It's certainly possible. However, I think that we'll be able to get things done.
Yeah.
So now we just gotta wait for our two competitors to hop in.
Right. So if we look again, you said next up we're doing the losers bracket right now, right? Alexia and Mumbles. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alexia and Mumbles.
Cool. All right. Well, whenever they're ready.
So we've got Vespa in. And now all we need is Mumbles.
I get the feeling that now that everyone's warmed up and that these two will be desperate to stay in the tournament, I would be very surprised if we don't see some incredible plays. Yeah, I can see that my encoding lag is gone. So I believe that I do believe that the replay feature, unfortunately, was the cause of most of the issues we've been having.
Well, you know, that's what they say. That's why it's always worthy of a test stream, but I suppose this was the test stream, huh?
Yep. Just can't know how to do something and then just doing it.
Both of our competitors are fully allowed to prepare as they see fit. They are not required to use their starting mechs. And whenever they are ready, we can begin the match.
I might quickly sneak in a bite of this shawarma here.
Would it really be a Daisy stream if Daisy wasn't caught eating in 4K?
I would resent that if it wasn't true. Man, casting is hard work. This feels like I ran a marathon.
Well, back on my home planet of an undisclosed location, I watched lots of sports games, so I'm kind of used to it.
Fun fact.
Also, I did improv in high school.
Fun fact. You're cute.
Fun fact. You're cute. Fun fact. Our audience is wonderful, and we love and appreciate every single one of you.
All right. Drone's warmed up and ready to go.
My kit bits are on the scene. We've got that secondary recording going. So Mumbles coming in with the burst rifle, the explosives thrower. Vespa completely changing up the game.
Oh, yeah, that's a completely different mech.
Similar style, explosives, a coral rifle. I see. We've got the coral. We've got the coral for the weaponry. Coral, a very interesting weapon choice. Not a lot of defenses against coral other than coral itself, but still keeping it pretty much the same script otherwise. With that back-mounted machine gun. Mumbles coming in with the burst rifle, on top of the explosives thrower and some split missiles, both very solid balanced builds.
Mumbles is really going to have to watch out for Vespa's rocket launcher on the left hand. It is very quick firing, and if Mumbles get caught out, they could suffer a lot of damage.
Ooh, a solid kick by Vespa. Getting the stagger. In with the explosives thrower. Oh, Mumbles staggered, kicked. Some excellent combat going on by both of these players.
Vespa could have done a little bit more damage there, but they were a little bit out of position. It still had a good chance of winning this match, I think.
Vespa's trying to play it safe, using the long range to her advantage. A very solid strategy, especially considering that explosives thrower.
They definitely can't play it too safe because they got the armor disadvantage, and if everything stays the same, they're going to lose. So they need to make some moves.
Mumbles keeping up despite being stuck on the ground for the majority of the match.
Yeah, that's right. Vespa's been flying this whole time.
Those split missiles are really putting in the work to do a little bit of chip damage. 20 seconds left on the clock.
Feels like Mumbles is just trying to stay out of the way.
Mumbles trying to bide her time. Vespa might have to make a move here.
5 seconds. Who's it gonna be?
And with that time out, Vespa. First loss of the match, Mumbles' first victory, but it is not over yet. We've still got the 2 out of 3, and we've still got the remaining matches. We've still got the remaining rounds in this match.
Vespa probably could have been a little bit more aggressive at the end there. After all, they didn't have too much to lose. I think that they're just have a certain style of fighting that they're very comfortable with, and I don't blame them. If you're in the zone, you gotta stay in the zone.
It works extremely well in many cases, and making good use of AoE weapons like that Coral Blaster. Very, very smart. Coral, an excellent weapon, keeps up the ACS strain consistently, going in with the Pulse Armor, gonna go aggro for a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of
some solid damage output.
We've seen a lot of competitors using the Pulse Armor reactively. Not too common to see people using it proactively to really try to get in someone's face. It's not too common.
It can be the strat, though. I personally am a big fan of the proactive Pulse Armor.
It is shamefully underused.
That Gatling cannon helping to maintain distance alongside the threat of the bazooka. If Vespa can keep the damage advantage, she's got this on lock. She can play the long game better than anyone else with that amazing aerial mobility. She is playing to her strengths right now.
Yeah, Vespa doing her best cosplay of a bird with how long that she's been staying in the air this whole match.
Or a bee, as it were.
Right, but they're no longer in the bumblebee, so I feel like my comparison is now more appropriate.
Little column A, little column B. Ironically, Mumbles and Vespa both taking similar strategies of trying to wait out the clock. Not a bad strategy, but ultimately Vespa has the overall advantage due to that aerial movement.
Oh, it's looking very bad for Mumbles.
If she wants to make this.
Who's it gonna be?
5 seconds left. Mumbles going for that play.
Oh.
Can't quite keep up. Vespa securing the timeout victory. This could be a win of technicalities.
Yeah, once Vespa had Mumbles where they wanted them, Mumbles just could not catch up to Vespa. So I can see why this playstyle could be something that they would not want to let go of at any cost.
I admire Vespa's gameplay style. I may have sparred with her in a match or two in the past, and I gotta say, it's a frustrating matchup to go against. You really gotta mind your P's and Q's, or you will get obliterated by those long-range shots, and you gotta get up close, or you won't make the difference. AP differential, pretty even so far.
Yeah,
Vespa at a slight advantage.
Yeah, they're kind of. The whole thing has been a bit of a standoff fight. Vespa trying to keep their distance at all costs, and it's been working out pretty well for them so far. We'll have to see if Mumbles can maybe turn the tables here.
Oh, solid shot. Good chip damage. Mumbles is going to have to do something, or that clock's going to run out, and she's going to lose by default.
Still have plenty of time to make some moves, but definitely Vespa has Mumbles on the back foot at the moment.
Almost nailing her with the explosive thrower. Mumbles getting close to the stagger. Oh, and the charge shot with the Coral Rifle. Hitting the Pulse Armor. Not even getting canceled out by that Assault Armor. Vespa keeping the solid distance. Mumbles goes down, and the match goes to Vespa. Vespa proving once and for all that she is the queen of the skies.
Yeah, that is definitely not a mech that I would want to go up against. As effective as it is, I'm not going to say that it's not a valid build, because it absolutely is, but I think a part of me, the gladiator part of me, would definitely start to feel very, very frustrated fighting against that kind of mech. It's definitely not an easy mech to counter. I'm sure there's counters out there. Maybe some more missiles could have helped Mumbles, but they're gonna have to try to switch it up for the next round.
That's definitely possible. A missile-centric build does work pretty well against distance foes. And also, if you go for an ultra close range build, one that can close the gap in a flash, that can be an effective strategy too, because the big disadvantage of long range setups like that, they have very little answers for the close range attacks. Mumbles could have easily pulled out a win there if she had been able to get close enough to get some more hits off with that explosives thrower.
Sorry, taking another bite.
Not to worry, both of our competitors are preparing, changing their strategies.
Yeah. Having watched Vespa, having watched some of Vespa's matches in the past, while she might be comfortable with a setup, I would be very surprised if she doesn't switch it up. I feel like she's a really big fan of keeping the opponent guessing. So we'll see if she feels like confident enough in trying something new. Again, there's always a risk if you change loadout that you might not be quite warmed up to handle it, quite warmed up enough to handle it. But on the upside, the opponent also has to adapt to your new playstyle.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Vespa pulls something out interesting like the battle boat, or possibly some other unique builds.
They do have the advantage, and knowing her, maybe she'll use that advantage to bring out something really wacky. But I don't want to make too many predictions because, after all, it's the only thing that matters is what they think is going to make them win.
Speaking on the outside looking in, it would be the prime time for Vespa to try something a little unique and different, something a little off the wall, but we'll see what happens. Both of these competitors definitely knee-deep in the assembly right now.
Yeah, it remains to see if Mumbles is going to switch it up any, because even if you have lost the previous round, it doesn't necessarily mean that your current build wasn't up to par. It could just be a matter that you just needed to get used to the way your opponent was maneuvering and fighting, and you're essentially increasing your synchronization with your own loadout. Keeping the same loadout can sometimes pay off because you're just used to it, right? It's familiar. I will use the opportunity while our competitors are still preparing to also prepare my stomach to receive more food.
Daisy once again proving that she can both confidently cast and confidently eat at the same time.
That's arguable with the way the stream's been going.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I've been taking sips from what is now Dr. Pepper instead of coffee.
Yeah, I myself have switched from Heatap to Sapporo.
I didn't know they made that.
Well, and at least that's why it's named. I'm not sure who made it. Maybe it's a Balaam thing.
Balaam. Looks like our competitors are ready to go.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
We'll get those kit bits out on the scene.
Once again, the drones entering their warmest stage. Oh, what a tournament. Running out.
This has been excellent so far. So, Mumble's going for a lightweight option this time. Trueno's arm missiles and the Etsygene.
Ooh.
Vespa going for the Javelin rocket, the Coral Oscillator, that minigun, and something else.
Both those
Mumbles
builds look
has
very
the-
scary.
See that item on the back? Mumbles has the drones once again.
Oh, that's right. That is a drone.
Vespa going for the plasma missiles. Both very balanced lightweight builds. This is going to be a fun one. Probably reminiscent of the match between Autumn and Five Eyes earlier.
Vespa needs to watch out.
That Coral Oscillator.
Oh.
That Coral Oscillator is some mean business. Pulse armor coming out from Mumbles.
Pressing the advantage. Oh, you do seem to be
Vespa
having
still
a
has
bit
a
of a
solid
disconnect.
chance.
Okay. Network is back on track.
Seems all good on my end. Oh, I might have spoken too soon. Oh, getting smacked with that Coral Oscillator in the charged attack.
Terminal armor is out. Vespa's got one shot.
Vespa's got that terminal armor going.
Vespa couldn't quite
Mixed.
cinch it.
For the match loss. Vespa pulling terminal armor out. An excellent call in emergency situations. Vespa still fully capable of winning this one.
Hopefully it's not the Balaam network dropping packets at the moment. Nice opening by both sides.
Oh, nice! Solid hit with the coral oscillator. That chunk! Look at that chunk! Insane damage from Vespa. Mumbles already on the run, pulling out the pulse armor. Vespa pressing that advantage.
Oh, wow.
With a quick smash. Vespa saying, no, think again. I can obliterate you in half a second.
Really taking
not have-
advantage of the
Could
momentum.
not have been a better combo.
Yeah, Vespa really taking advantage of that momentum that they built at the start of the match to just steamroll completely over Mumbles. But hey, Mumbles still has a great chance. We don't know what they're going to bring out. They could get in Vespa's head.
Neck and neck. Mumbles could easily win this and bring it to yet another tiebreaker match.
Yep, yeah. Speaking of Mumbles, having the slight advantage right now, so
Mumbles with the
Vespa-
AP advantage.
yeah, Vespa a little bit too aggressive, perhaps.
A little too aggro on that coral oscillator. Gonna take some punishment as a result. Oh, but smacked right in the face with that javelin rocket launcher. Back-mounted minigun doing the work. Oh. Excellent pulse armor counter. Coral damage does nothing against pulse armor. An excellent move. Vespa on the ropes, low AP.
Very valiant effort.
Vespa making use of those heavy-hitting combos. Will it be enough? Oh,
Terminal
Excellent
armor's
turn.
out.
terminal armor coming out. Those drones might take care of it, though.
Mumbles wisely backing off while the terminal armor expires.
Letting the drones do the work. Vespa having to be pitch perfect on these dodges.
Ah.
And Vespa goes down. Mumbles with the match win. We're heading to another tiebreaker, everyone. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, we are seeing one heck of a matchup.
I very much I will say I'm glad that Vespa did try something a little bit silly wacky. It was very much the coral oscillator might not be one of the best weapons. It's definitely a very intimidating weapon because it commands a lot of respect, even if a pilot that knows what they're doing can avoid it without too much trouble. It's definitely flexing, as one would say.
When it comes to coral weapons, I tend to be a little bit on the fence with them. Sometimes they're good, sometimes I think they're less than ideal, but if I had to pick a melee weapon, the coral oscillator is definitely one of my first choices. Heavy, heavy damage that can go right around coral defenses if the opponent decides to bring them. Not to mention, that beam attack is no slouch. We saw how much damage that can chunk out.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a weapon that was made to take advantage of an opponent being staggered, because it can make, if the opponent is staggered just long enough, it will reach them no matter how far away they are. It essentially has, for how big the arena is, it has unlimited range.
More or less, it's all about positioning. The coral oscillator requires key precision.
By the way, I'm not mistaking that the coral oscillator has that charge attack, right? That does or is that the other weapon? No, because they had the bazooka. Never mind. Yeah.
The rifle has the big. I mean, you might be thinking of the rifle that is supposed to work alongside it. That one shoots a large beam that you can manually aim. The coral oscillator shoots the wide sweeping beam.
Right. What's the name of the other weapon?
The WLT. I wonder what that stands for.
We search L'Institute weapon.
Well, you heard it here, folks. It stands for Research L'Institute Weapon.
All right, both opponents going in overtime once again. Can we highlight how every single one? Are we gonna keep going like this forever?
Everyone is fighting so hard tonight, and I could not be prouder of all of our contestants. Regardless of who gets eliminated in this matchup, let it be known that everyone played well, fought hard, and is an excellent pilot in their own right.
All right. I believe Mumbles has kept their loadout, which never a bad idea when you won the last
Lots
set.
of Trueno missiles on there. That's a new one. Vespa going for the quad
Oh!
leg with the chainsaw.
With the chainsaw.
This is gonna with the basho. Vespa means business in this one.
Yeah, Vespa definitely flexing here because the chainsaw is a notoriously difficult to use. We'll see if they get the opportunity to actually make good use of it. I doubt it personally, but hey, I've been surprised before.
Hey, don't be surprised. Vespa's got those fancy new quad legs, the fastest ones in the entire planet of Rubicon 3, and the Trueno missiles. Both competitors recognizing the value of those high-speed, high-impact needle missiles.
Yeah, if Vespa can get Mumbles staggered, that chainsaw is going to finish them in one hit,
Vespa
essentially.
getting the stagger, hitting the pulse armor, double pulse armor. Vespa at a slight AP disadvantage, but still in the fight.
Yeah, they're not yet to use that chainsaw, which is must be very scary for Mumbles.
Mumbles has to keep her distance, otherwise that chainsaw is going to make mincemeat out of her.
Yeah, Mumbles is able to keep their stability down, the stability up pretty well. But if they get staggered, I think that's going to spell out the end for them. So I think they need to avoid that at all costs.
Mumbles taking some hits.
Vespa revving out the chainsaw.
Oh, almost connected. Almost connected. Mumbles still getting staggered anyway. Vespa on the brink of stagger herself. Mumbles
It's neck to neck.
low on AP.
Who is it going to be?
30 seconds out.
One bad hit and someone's out. Oh.
Mumbles going down. That Xiaowei minigun combined with the large-scale bazooka, that's a deadly combination there. And because Vespa can keep up the pressure with those quad legs and the speed, there is no escape for Mumbles.
I think Vespa is purely going with essentially a terror build. They're trying to put like to pummel Mumbles into submission through just raw intimidation.
Sheer intimidation power, but Mumbles is not having any of it. She's determined. She brought those Trueno missiles to play. She's gonna be the difference maker. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's still anyone's game right now. Like surprisingly keeping up with one another. Oh my God!
Oh,
No!
smacks with the chainsaw. That damage. The chunk.
I wonder
And
what
just
happened
like
there.
That, Mumbles sweeped and cleared with a solid hit from that chainsaw.
It seems like Mumbles.
It cannot be overstated how strong that chainsaw is. It's hard to connect, but when it connects, oh boy, are you in for a world of hurt.
It seems like something happened at the end there. Mumbles, I think either they lost their input or there was some kind of lag because from my perspective, it seems like they stood still for a good 3 seconds there. A bit of a heartbreaking loss for Mumbles. I feel like they had a good chance there at winning and maybe making back the difference in AP and armor points, but some kind of technical difficulty with their mechs seems like it interfered with their ability to fight, and I think that sealed their fate at the end there, which you always hate to see, but still an extremely good match from both competitors.
Hang on, I'm corresponding with our pilots as we speak.
Okay. Do you have an insight on what might have happened?
Sounds like a control error caused the pulse armor to not deploy.
Ugh.
Gonna double check with our potential winner, make sure that both parties consider that to be a fair match.
Yeah, because something that I've been very proud of our competitors so far is the sportsmanship has been impeccable.
Oh, they want a rematch.
Oh,
They want a rematch.
All right.
I think in the spirit of fairness and the sense of camaraderie between pilots, these two want to go at it for one more.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think it's going to have to be a single match then, and not 2 more matches.
Oh, of course. Of course. Nope, it's one more match. We're going to pretend that last one didn't happen, so it's neck and neck. Whoever wins this one is the overall winner.
All right. Well, let's go then. The current tournament is going pretty well, Jim. I have been able to be a little bit more relaxed enough to start looking at chat now. I've not been keeping up with chat like at all.
Well, that's the thing about running a
up until
tournament.
now.
We're sportscasters. We're not necessarily paying attention to chat for a reason, but chat, we must say, we appreciate all of your viewership. We see how many of you are here tonight, and we are thrilled that all of you want to experience this alongside us. And I know that all of you understand how much effort it must take from the two of us to maintain commentary over these fights. But don't worry, we see you, and we love you and appreciate you.
Especially for you, you've been doing a lot of the heavy lifting with the commentary, and I honestly couldn't be more impressed. I can only hope to be a good support commentator for you, a good co-host, if you will.
You're doing a great job, hon. I'm proud of you.
All right, drones are warmed up. The match is starting up. Let's see what we have
going
here.
for a proper rematch, not changing a thing about their mechs as far as I can tell, except for maybe some part swaps.
Again, the sportsmanship in this tournament has been more than impeccable. I couldn't be prouder for all the competitors.
Absolutely. All competitors have played well, have played fair, and have been willing to work with each other to make this as good of a match as possible.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little bit bad for Mumbles. Not because I think that they're not gonna win. On the contrary, I'd have a good chance, but I do not like...
Mumbles avoiding that chainsaw. Getting some solid damage on Vespa.
Oof.
Both pulse armors have been thrown out. Mumbles at half AP, Vespa close behind.
I feel like the chainsaw, for as difficult as it is to use, I just feel like it is so scary that even if it's not that effective, it just commands respect.
The threat of it alone on a fast vehicle like that quad leg is enough to make anyone shake in their cockpit.
Yeah.
Mumbles low on AP. Mumbles
on the back
almost
foots.
taken down.
Are they going to be able to do something?
Mumbles
And
goes
no.
down. A harsh hit from that bazooka. Thought it was the javelin, but then I remembered that Vespa changed it out. Still a solid weapon. That Melanite bazooka is no slouch.
Yeah, Mumbles is definitely going to need to do something to switch things up a bit, in my opinion, if they want to win, because Vespa's got this on lockdown. She knows what she wants to do, and she executes it well.
Well, we can't count Mumbles out. She definitely knows what she's doing with her build too. She's got confidence. She's got the speed. She's got the ability to brawl and work around that chainsaw. If she can avoid it at all costs, she has a solid chance.
Oh, who's going to stagger first? And it was
Vespa getting chunked. That's what I'm talking about. Those Trueno missiles with the chunk.
Oh.
Mumbles getting chunked, but hitting the pulse armor at the last second. Both competitors working really hard to get each other down. Vespa's still at the AP deficit.
Yeah, okay, Vespa keeping their distance here, but she's going to have to make a move here.
Vespa playing it safe, maybe trying to get some chip out.
Not a good idea. Mumbles drones are going to win the attrition race. Vespa needs to get in close and finish this fight. If Vespa cannot close the distance, I feel like there we go. Yeah.
Yep,
Mumbles
and there's the
winning.
drones.
Yeah, Mumbles winning the attrition there, which was the play. Keeping their distance, not getting in close, and letting the drones do all the hard work.
That is the biggest advantage that Mumbles have. Those drones are more than capable of harassing the enemy at a distance, while Mumbles can work with impunity, dodging in and out of the cover, and recovering from that ACS strain.
Oh.
Speaking of strain, Mumbles almost getting staggered right off the bat. Oh, near miss on that chainsaw. Vespa playing the ground game right now, getting a little aggro.
Oh.
The stagger, baiting out that pulse armor, not buying it. Vespa playing the mind games right now at the AP advantage. Now it's been evened out.
Yeah, it's been an entire match of Mumbles just backing away from Vespa. Vespa really trying to get in close.
Mumbles getting clobbered again.
Mumbles trying to stay away.
Oh, so close. So close. Vespa could hit the stagger. Vespa refusing to give up, putting the pressure on.
my god, it's so close right now.
It's so close, and Vespa goes down!
Oh, Vespa going down. It was really just one wrong move on either competitor's part, and it was all over. And it seems like
Oh my goodness.
it seems like Vespa giving it her all, doing everything she can to win, intimidating her enemy. I don't think if I was in Mumble's position, I don't think I would have been more scared of an opponent than what Vespa has been putting on display. That chainsaw just horrifying. Mumble's winning, but at what cost? I hope they can recover psychologically from that match. Oh boy.
All right, so let me adjust the bracket there.
Yeah, we do need to check the bracket. Also, I believe that is our first
Elimination.
Is that our first elimination? All right. I believe in that case, should we do the interview?
I'm contacting our pilot as we speak.
Yeah, we are going to be doing an interviews for all the mech pilots that get knocked out of the tournament. So that they have a chance to transmit their thoughts and get their voice out there. Just make sure that they can give their perspective on the matches so far. And we'll put us back in the main room.
Let's bring in the I will bring in the creature. Do you have the reactive image ready?
It should be ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Creature.
And there she is, the furball herself. Welcome. Welcome, welcome.
Vespa.
Vespa. Well, Vespa, you fought incredibly well. I'm always proud of the builds that you put forward. And you were even a good sport about that last match, which would have secured you the victory and let you move forward in the bracket. But in the spirit of fairness, you decided to do one more, and it ended up working against you. How do you feel about this tournament? How do you feel?
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
You get to play around with a bunch of funky builds. And it's not the quad Gatling you see in competitive.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know that you've talked a lot about how you hate, well, not hate, I think that's a strong word, but like very much dislike some of the amount of cheese that occurs at the higher echelons of ranked play. And I respect the heck out of your builds, because not only are they like what's considered unusual for the typical matchups, but they actually do work really well, especially in that war of attrition.
Me.
Yeah, it's. I have to say, you might have not won the matchup, but I think you got a sort of moral victory for using the chainsaw there. Like it's like,
absolutely.
It's just I hope Mumbles can get some canceling, because if I was in her shoes, I would have been like just terrified, like just absolutely like just completely just absolutely trembling in terror at how aggressive you were with that chainsaw.
I wasn't even playing and I was scared out of my wits.
Yeah. It was like playing a survival horror game. Like Mumbles was playing a survival horror game there.
Well, Vespa, do you have any closing thoughts about the competitors, the tournament, anything that you'd like to say to the audience?
What's on your mind?
Have fun, and don't forget you can trash your weapons.
It's true.
Just fucking toss them on the ground and go punchy.
A favorite strategy of yours that I have seen in action, much to my detriment. but it's a
Yeah,
beautiful sight to see.
that is right. I don't. So far, we haven't seen someone throw hands yet. We've seen some kicks here and there, but most people, it's not quite on the same level as just discarding your weapons, because once you sever your weapons away, unless you get a whole team of engineers to reattach them to your systems, because it might, like, for those uninitiated, it might look like those weapons are just, the mechs are just holding them, but there's a whole suite of communication cables that run through the hands to the weapons to actuate them, and once you throw them away, you need a whole, like, engineering team to, like, put it back on the mech in a functional state. So it's like, once you throw hands, there's no going back, and we haven't seen that yet, unfortunately.
They don't grow back.
They don't grow back. And one thing that I'd like to touch on is just a reminder to all of you out in the audience and everyone that's competed, and to Alexia, every single one of you is incredibly good at this. Every single one of you is an incredible pilot, and it shows with the fact that we have constantly made it to tiebreaker after tiebreaker. Y'all are putting in maximum effort, and it's delightful to see. And Alexia, thank you so much for playing. We're really happy to have you here, and I'm really happy that you wanted to participate.
Thank you for tolerating my clown suits.
No, I love
you're
them.
fine.
It's
You're fine.
it's the variety spice that this tournament desperately needed, and we appreciate the heck out of it. We will be doing like a little end of stream group meetup with everybody, but if you have somewhere to be, you're more than welcome to dip out at this point. Otherwise, just chill out for the next 3 matches or so, and we'll be back with you.
You did very good, hun.
Full disclosure, this fluffy creature here is one of my partners, so I'm gonna do this. Mwah.
Yeah, full disclosure, they're also my partner. Mwah. The Rubicon Polycule.
The Rubicon Polycule. Take care, you silly furball. Oh.
All right, back to the casting couch. Oh, wow. First elimination, but honestly, it couldn't have gone any better. Alexia really going out with a bang. Absolutely.
She showed no mercy whatsoever, and that was lovely to see. Nobody has ever thrown in the towel at any point during this tournament. I love seeing that energy from everybody, but everyone's also playing well, playing fair, and playing competitively but cooperatively with each other. And you love to see that kind of sportsmanship in a game like this, especially one that can get as hyper competitive as a 1v1 tournament.
You figure we can do 5 matches in the time we have left?
I believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh gosh, we do have 5 matches.
You know, I personally feel like, considering we have everything ready, right? I feel like we could just do a follow-up tournament, pretty easily. Sure, getting everyone together, but
let's
we could
not
do
worry
it,
about it. Let's not worry about it now, and we'll just focus on getting as much done as possible.
Okay. All right.
So, on that note, it is time for the second matchup in the secondary bracket. Let me get everybody in here. So that'll be Heminator and Autumn.
All right. Yeah, let's get back to it. Getting the competitors into their respective dropships on their way to the battlefield.
If we have to do the quarterfinals on our follow-up stream, that is not a problem at all. If we end up doing that, it'll actually equal out to about the same amount of time spent in the tournament as this first one. We were talking about how the semifinals into the finals was going to run a little short.
Yeah. It's there's definitely a way to make it work, and now that all the assets and the setups have been created, and then I've had to sort of. It was a bit of it was definitely a shakedown course, right? It was definitely a shakedown run. We did figure out a lot of issues. We did figure out what worked and what didn't. So we're in a much better position. Hopefully, whenever the next stream is going to be for the follow-up to the tournament, it's not going to be in 3 different parts due to me screwing around with the settings.
Not a problem at all. We're still making good time. I'm not at all worried about it, to be honest.
Yeah. I think we get some good momentum going, and I think everyone's warmed up and knows what to do. So
Before
definitely
we
there's gonna
begin
be
this next matchup,
Yeah?
I think that we have to read out our next corporate sponsor. So let me take a look at that real quick. Let me take a look. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting some kind of .exe file here instead of an actual corporate readout. Hang on, what is what? Today's combat analysis is provided by AllMind. AllMind exists for all mercenaries. What just happened? I kind of like blacked out there for a second. What was that?
Apparently
did stream it?
Apparently AllMind was the sponsor, and
What?
literally
That doesn't
the
make any
sponsor.
sense. AllMind is an AI. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I guess they hacked you or something.
That's not possible. I'm a nanite network. The only hacking that you can do to me is on stream when people make me do a cat voice. I think.
Well, I guess you can look back at the footage later to get your answer to that.
Yeah, I think I have to maybe do a software upgrade or a firmware upgrade or something.
Either way, now that that's been cleared up, I think we're ready for our next matchup.
I would say so. Competitors, you are good to ready up at your leisure.
So we have Heminator going
And Ember.
against Ember. Let's see what they bring to the table. Do you think they're going to switch it up, or do you think they're going to keep the same?
We'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if Heminator brings out that double Zimmy build again. I kind of want to see it. I hope Heminator brings the double Zimmies to the table.
Yeah.
They're serious
Yeah,
business.
I have to confess, I have a bit of a morbid fascination with the double
And there
Zimmies
they
build.
are, the double Zimmies. Let's go.
I was a little bit hoping that they would have the dual stun needle launcher, but they do want to win, and that's definitely a build that's very, very risky, so I don't blame them.
Amber meeting some serious business, but look at that chonker on the left. That's the brand new Arquebus laser cannon, the one that leaves a lasting trail of damage.
All right.
Or
Both
is that a shield?
opponents
Oh no,
sizing
it's
each
another
other up.
shield. I don't know what shields look like apparently because Heminator's got the shield on the left side.
Yeah, Heminator favoring shields above most of the other opponents. Unfortunately, not really able to capitalize on what they're good at. They probably just need a little bit more time getting used to the pacing that Ember's dictating right now.
Heminator's got to get in close in order to make use of those double Zimmermans, but with the shield, it's not a bad call. Heminator going for the assault, for the pulse armor. Verdi also going for the pulse armor. Heminator trying to land that kick, but can't quite make it. At a serious AP disadvantage right now.
Spiral,
Oh,
is it just
smacking with
me?
the kick.
Is it just me, or does Heminator, are they going manual with their aim?
They very well might be. But it might be a challenge for them because Heminator went down. Amber with the first win of this match.
Yeah, it's there's two types of pilot. There's pilots going manual with the targeting. Some others go automatic. Both are valid. Both have their upsides and downsides. But it seems like in this case, it might be putting Heminator at a disadvantage.
Honestly, I applaud Heminator's valiance in this match. Not only going for the dual Zimmermans, but going for the shield to keep safe and the heavy reverse joint legs. I am a big fan of reverse joint legs. I think they're some of the best parts you can put on an AC.
Heminator having a really hard time putting pressure on the Ember. They are able to deal a lot of damage and stagger them very fast if they get close, but they just could not
Heminator
get close.
getting absolutely shredded in this matchup. And I think that's going to be the big point of contention is that Heminator is going to have to figure out a way to make up that difference if they're going to roll with the dual Zimmies.
Yeah, either they're
If
going to
they
need to... go ahead.
If he keeps the speed up, it would be totally possible for him to mop the floor with Amber's mech because of how lightweight it is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's
first match goes to Amber.
First match goes to Amber. I'll definitely say, while the dual zimmies are very, very strong, they're also they're fairly easy to predict unless you switch it up with a weapon in the other hand. It is very risky to go dual zimmies. It can yield a very great reward, but I think in this case, Amber is wise to Heminator's antics, and I think Heminator is gonna need to probably switch things up much more drastically than before to stand a chance of putting Amber more on the back foot.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Although, who knows? Maybe Heminator will double down. Maybe Heminator will continue to bring out those zimmies and figure out another way to make it work. I'm kind of surprised that Amber's in the preparation screen to begin with. Her mech is solid. She doesn't really need to change anything. So we'll see what happens. Looks like our competitors are ready.
Maybe Amber has figured out that switching things up will prevent Heminator from getting too much practice in with whatever setup they have going. Honestly, I really hope that Heminator just goes all in and brings back the stun needle launchers, but we'll see in a moment. Fingers crossed. I know I'm biased, but it'd be really funny.
It's a risky move, but it could pay off. Let's see what happens.
All right, we got Amber first.
Amber keeping things the way they are meant to be.
It is a very solid build.
Heminator coming in with the Harris and the Zimmerman shield. Not
They
sure
swapped
what
it
that
out.
that right back.
Yeah, it is
equipment
a shield. They swapped out shield.
Oh, and I see Amber's got the double Trueno missiles going for the extra long-range punishment.
I am very worried for
Shield
Heminator.
coupled with the missiles. I think Heminator might have this in the bag. That Harris rifle is going to help pick off at a distance and set up good opportunities. Even one Zimmerman is a solid choice. Heminator's just got to play his cards right.
It might be a personal skill issue on my part, but I always have a lot of trouble. I've always used to have a lot of troubles going against the dual those dual missile setup. It's very difficult to counter.
Double Truenos is a high-risk, high-reward mechanic because you do have high stagger and damage, but once they're gone, there's a long period of time where you have no missile support.
Yeah,
Heminator has
really
to exploit those times.
Exactly. They need to exploit the time in between those missile launches.
Getting hit with that painful stagger. Pulse armor, Amber going super aggro. AP deficit roughly the same, actually.
Heminator needs to be careful. It's not looking good for them.
If Heminator block those so close. Heminator getting really close to taking Amber down. See, Heminator's got the right idea. He's got the shield. If he can use that to block the worst of the Trueno missiles' damage and impact, he stands a very good chance. He can abuse those times where the Trueno missiles are on cooldown and need to lock on. They are highly inaccurate without a full lock.
Yeah, can they figure out how can they make up the difference with what they know and what they've practiced so far? Hopefully, because they're definitely at a disadvantage. They have a lot of ground to cover if they want to win. Oh,
Heminator getting seriously chunked by this build.
He's
gotta play
feel like
cool as a cucumber.
You gotta play it cool. I think Heminator's gonna need a bit of a miracle here.
Pulse armor going in. Going for that sassy kick, saying, I'm going to disrespect you anyway.
If I was Heminator, I'd just throw hands at the moment.
Heminator getting caught off the back foot. Close to a stagger.
Just couldn't stand the attrition.
And those double Truenos showing that they mean business.
Yeah,
you're right. That's a really hard thing to go up against. For sure.
You need a lot of practice. You need a lot of practice to overcome the dual Truenos.
Smasu in the comments has it right. Very close to bringing it back. Heminator putting up a solid fight every single match. Getting it close. But just could not make it on that last one.
Yeah,
However,
absolutely.
That was 2 victories for Amber, which means that Heminator is eliminated.
Yeah, it definitely was a little bit more one-sided this time. I would not say that it was because of Heavy-Meter's skill level. I believe that in this case, they probably should have switched up. They probably should have risked going with an entirely different mech setup, but who knows? Maybe they didn't have a reserve mech that they had any practice with that could have been really risky. Maybe they just felt like they just had to get in the zone and just get in there and don't overthink it, and maybe that would have made the difference. But I believe in this case, Heminator might have benefited more from adapting his mech to what Ember was bringing out, but definitely not making it easy from Ember, not at all.
I completely agree. I think in this situation, it was purely a matter of Heminator getting hard countered in that build. Heminator had the right idea. Bringing the shield, bringing a little bit of range, and bringing the Zimmerman. A solid choice. It's all about keeping up the rhythm and knowing how to keep up with those double Torino missiles, but it is a hard task. And it's not easy either, because those double Torinos, if they make full contact with most shields, it's still going to do a sizable amount of damage and impact.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where I've heard a saying that in a lot of mech matches, it's 80% garage skill and 20% sort of combat skills. And while I think that might be a vast exaggeration, I would definitely say that even if you're good enough, you could make use of Loader 4 and absolutely win. I believe there is some truth that if there is too much of a disparity between how good of the matchup or how bad of the matchup is from your mech versus the other, it makes it sometimes almost impossible to overcome the disparity.
Absolutely. So it looks like Heminator is good for an exit interview, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in.
All right. Heminator.
Wow, welcome friend. Well fought.
Thank you.
So, what are your thoughts on your own performance in this tournament?
At first I was feeling a little disappointed with that last performance. I felt I could have done a little better, but honestly, with the person I was going up against, with Autumn's build and how she was able to get things going, I honestly am surprised I did as well as I did.
Yeah, that's definitely the tough part, is like you played like pitch perfect on your own build. Bringing the shield was a super wise call, especially against like heavy hitting like impact weapons like those missiles. The trouble is that like keeping rhythm with the Torino missiles is really hard because they come out fast. So you have to take advantage of like that cooldown moment where they won't be there and they don't have lock on, and that's really hard to do, especially if you're up against a faster opponent.
Very much so, yeah.
Heminator, I am very biased, but I was really hoping that at least in that very last match you had, that you just go all in on the Meminator and just bring out the dual stun needle with the shotgun. So okay.
The Meminator build actually worked for the match that you used it in. Like, it wasn't a bad call. Like, it can be a nasty combination sometimes, and the fact that you're willing to run it, I think speaks to your bravery, and I admire that. I am terrified of a build that like too heavily relies on the same weapon type. I rarely ever run like double trigger or like quad weapon builds or anything like that. But when I see people run them, and when they run them well, it's a sight to behold.
Well, I mean, it just, there's a lot of different types of mech builds out there, and it depends on the pilot to try and find a way to make it work. And honestly,
Absolutely.
with the other competitors I've seen today, it's been absolutely insane.
Yeah, everyone has worked so hard. You worked hard in all of your matches. Almost every match up till this point has been a tiebreaker. And really, like I said earlier, the only reason why I think that happened to you is because, like, in this moment, you got hard countered by the setup, less so than like anyone playing better or worse. And that's just one of the factors of this game, is that sometimes your build just gets slammed into the ground by a very specific combination, and it doesn't happen often. It's only like a handful of times where like just the very specific thing that one opponent does will completely outweigh the other. I don't see that very often unless people are completely new to the game or are just being dominated by whatever is the overwhelming strat of the flavor of the month, if you will. I think the most recent one that I've seen is like quad Gatling guns. That tends to be the like flavor of the month meme build that nobody can really deal with.
Yep,
Yeah.
I can see that. Gatlings are absolutely ridiculous.
Not like sort of noob stumper kind of build at the moment.
Something along those lines. Well, Heminator, do you have any closing thoughts about the tournament, about the competitors, anything else that you'd like to say to us or the audience?
I just want to say that to the competitors, I hope you have a fantastic tournament and above all, enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, if you have somewhere you need to be, you are free to take off. Otherwise, I encourage you to hang out with the other competitors. We'll be doing a sort of like final discussion before we close off stream. And we're going to take it from there. Thank you so much for playing and participating.
Thanks very much. I'm going to head back into the Mech Bay hangar because I got a project on the works.
Ooh, sounds fun. Well, we definitely plan to have more tournaments in the future, so whatever you got cooking up, I would love to see it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, we're excited to see what you come up with.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much. You take care now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Wow. All right. So, Daisy, next up, we have our winner's circle match in Group A, which is Red Oni and Script Kitty.
Yeah, and let's see here. Let's bring up the bracket. All right. Yeah, it's gonna be Red Oni versus Script Kitty. Question: do you think we should just do one round?
No, we can
Perhaps?
keep it the same. We can keep it the
Oh,
same. Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to change things up right at the end here because it would be unfair to everyone involved.
That's fair. Although, do you think we should ask the remaining competitors if they're going to be able to remain for the maybe a little bit longer than we planned?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do this match, and then I'll also ask that question to all of our competitors.
All right. You know, I wonder if we should take another break or not. All right. So, we go back here. Well, I understand why sportscasters get paid the big bucks. It's a hard job. Nice it all. Definitely, I will say my respect for them has grown a lot.
I've always had a fond respect for sportscasters. That kind of got ingrained into me as a young kid. It's a tough job, using your voice a lot, not unlike a live streamer.
So, what's the consensus?
Consensus seems to be that everyone is still okay with playing.
Everyone remaining?
Looks like it so far. The only one who has not responded is, I think, Five Eyes at this point, because Smazu, well, Autumn hasn't responded either.
Well,
okay, Five Eyes is good. And we're ready to run this next match, so either way, we can at least do this one.
Yeah. Let's
Okay, so
warm
let's
up
see what
those drones.
Yeah, so let's see what Script Kitty and Red Oni bring to the table.
Yeah, it's always the most interesting part of these follow-up matches. It's just saying, are they going to stick with what worked, or are they going to switch up? Because we are in the winners bracket right now.
Yep, it's a tough call. It's a really tough call because if it works, it might work against other builds, but at the same time, people can also predict what you're going to play. Red Oni coming in with the classic weaponry. Looks like neither has really changed their build all that much. Yeah, we got the double missile racks and the Ransetsu RF on Script Kitty Sunflare.
Yeah,
And Red Oni with the same build as well. Laser shotgun, rifle, and the launchers. Got those Aurora launchers too for the pulse damage. Red Oni taking a little bit of chunk, getting battered and beat around. Still not that damage though. That heavy build is worthwhile.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of AP to work with, but they shouldn't take it for granted.
Script Kitty also changing the generator up a little bit, as you can see. Switching to an internal combustion engine over the Coral engine. Definitely going to give her a solid advantage in terms of endurance and lastability. Red Oni getting staggered back and forth constantly.
Yeah.
Script Kitty's still taking some decent damage though. Red Oni could make it back out.
Yeah, they need just one good shot in, and I think that Red Oni could bring it back, but I think it's a bit of a long shot at the moment.
Script Kitty is getting clobbered by those laser shotguns. Oh, attempted the kick.
Oh.
And it did
Nasty.
not work. Red Oni went for the big in brawl, and it did not pan out for him. That's okay though. He's still very much in the fight. That was only the first round.
Yeah. Hopefully lessons learned, and they can use said lessons to, to bring the fight to Script Kitty.
Red Oni still getting some solid damage though.
Yeah, but they're getting staggered once more. That's not looking good.
I guess I spoke too soon and got hit with the stagger.
I think I think someone might need to remind Red Oni that they have an expansion module they can use.
Well, you never know. Sometimes it's hard to find the right time to use that expansion module. Script Kitty playing it nice and safe with the distance play, constantly going in the back. Red Oni getting hit with those nasty staggers.
Oh,
and that clears the first match. Script Kitty, a resounding victory.
Reds just could not close that distance. They just, you know, there's keeping your opponent at arm's length, and then there's like keeping them at like pole length, and that's what Script Kitty was doing. And I think that was probably somewhat frustrating for Red Oni.
Those Ransetsu RFs are no hecking joke. They're incredibly precise, low recoil, high damage with the optional burst fire option on the quick charge. And having two of them, it's a force to be reckoned with, especially if you're on a heavy build. There are ways to work around it, and I'm sure Red Oni will come up with something that will work really well. But that just goes to show, another one of those situations with a hard counter matchup. Red Oni having a solid build, good for bruising, tanking the best of damage, and getting in there and really showing them who's boss. But if you can't keep up with the speed and he's getting peppered at range, doesn't mean much.
Yeah. I suspect that I would be very surprised if Red Oni does not do some drastic change to their setup. Otherwise, I have a hard time seeing how they can surprise Script Kitty enough to you know, maybe intimidate them a little bit and make them do essentially more mistakes, because right now Script Kitty just has been very seemingly a bit carefree in their behavior, and doesn't seem like they were very scared of Red Oni. Not necessarily completely careless, just not very scared.
And that's kind of the trouble here, is that Red Oni's got to come up with something that'll give him an edge. I think I have some ideas of my own. If I were in his position and I didn't change my mech parts at all, I'd go for a shield, some long-range equipment, maybe some drones, some stuff that can keep the pressure on so that Script Kitty has to make some aggressive movements and then punish those aggressive movements with some of that brawler action.
Yeah, it's Script Kitty definitely using their speed to their advantage, and Red Oni will have to find a way to adapt or counter it somehow. They're both preparing, so they're cooking. Something's cooking in the kitchen, and we'll see which dish comes out on top.
We'll see who gets the Michelin stars. Do they have Michelin stars? Are there Michelin stars on Rubicon 3?
Oh, well, if they're not, there should be.
We have one chatter who is a certified soup enjoyer. Really wants to see those soup missiles come out. Honestly, I don't blame you. I love the soup missiles. I hope somebody brings them out at some point throughout this matchup. But who knows? Maybe in the quarterfinals or the semifinals, we'll have some of that soup.
Okay, Script Kitty does seem to be ready to go. I don't blame Red Oni for thinking long and hard about their builds.
Yeah, Red Oni should take all the time he needs to figure out exactly what he wants. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. He does seem to have settled on something.
And it looks like we're going to start this next match. So far, one of the best 2 out of 3 goes to Script Kitty. If Red Oni can win this match, we'll go to another tiebreaker.
Yeah, hopefully Red can turn the tables on Script Kitty and show her that he's a force to be reckoned with.
I have full faith and confidence that Red Oni is going to show us the business. Going with a Harris, a plasma rifle. Can't quite see what else is on the back there. We'll have to take a good look. Double Ron Setsu's looks like, barring any possible part changes for the AC itself, Script Kitty has not messed with anything. Red Oni's got some good, see, and this is the strategy I was hoping he would go for. He's got plasma missiles, split missiles, a plasma rifle, and the Harris, a solid ranged build that can help make up for that speed deficit.
Yeah, Red really needs, I think Red's best chance at winning this is attrition warfare, because he's got more AP and less maneuverability, so as maybe trying to use the, try to get the range advantage here. I think he could make it, but it's...
Hopefully making good use of cover too, but looks like he's struggling. Getting out in the open there.
Yeah, I think he's not taking advantage of the of what this build seems to be made for, which is like to keep distance and to try to pepper the enemy and to
solid
maybe
shot
get
with the
a
plasma
time
rifle
win.
there.
It does seem to be working a little bit better than before.
Yeah, the damage is decent. Red Oni keeping up. Script Kitty still at the AP advantage. Red Oni having a rough time hitting those charged linear rifle shots. It's going to be difficult against an AC that fast.
Script Kitty would need to make a big mistake right now to not win this match, and there it is.
Red Oni goes down. Red Oni's got it. Let's see if he makes use of the arena itself. The arena has excellent cover, which would be perfect for an attrition-based fighting style. And that's exactly what he's got working with all that missile setup on top of the range.
Yeah, Red Oni really needs to stop. Really needs to not let Script Kitty dictate the range and the when and where and how of the fights are occurring. He might be running a little bit head empty right now. Hopefully he comes to his senses and really makes use of the advantage that his mix can provide correctly.
One thing that should not be underestimated is the power of canceling animations, because you can run up and try and shoot with those linear rifles and then cancel it as soon as you do with a boost. That sets off the targeting systems of the enemy AC and can fool them into dodging for no reason.
That's true.
Solid damage output by Red Oni. Under half AP, still very much in this fight. Can't quite land those charged railgun shots.
He has the time, he has the AP, maybe he can make use of it. We'll have to see. Oh, almost staggered. Can he get that
Almost
stagger?
in
It's
that
now or
stagger.
nothing.
Almost in that stagger. Going for broke, all or nothing.
Oh.
And I'm afraid that's all she wrote for Red Oni.
Yeah. I think Red might have just been victim of another bad matchup because he has shown he was in the winners. You know, he made it to the winners bracket. He has
However,
what it
it's
takes to
important.
win. You know.
And it's important to remember, this is a double elimination tournament. Red Oni is still more than capable of eking out a victory in the secondary bracket against Mumbles.
Yeah, that is that's we've done the matches, right? That's 2 wins for
Yep.
Script Kitty.
Absolutely.
All right. Man, I'm so bad. Like, I understand why it takes a full team to keep track of this stuff. Like, because can you believe I'm a streamer with how much I'm just not able to keep track of? Well, it's all about the passion. And hopefully I'm bringing a lot of passion.
You absolutely are. I'm very proud of you.
All right.
So
let's look
next
at the
up, we have
bracket.
Smazu and Five Eyes. But in the meantime, yeah, let's take a look at the bracket. So, Red Oni is not out of it yet. Still has every opportunity to eke out a victory if he can beat Mumbles. Meanwhile, Script Kitty, our first confirmed winner, heading to the semifinals. Big congratulations to Script Kitty for working so hard.
Who would do the interview then?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do the interview for Script Kitty. Let me get in touch with them real quick. I'm get in touch with her.
Right. Things looking good. Stream health
Okay.
looks pretty good.
I'm gonna bring her in.
All right, let's go to the interview lounge. It's just us literally moving like 3 meters to the left.
Hello.
Welcome, first confirmed winner.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That was a really fun fight against Red Oni. I after the fight, I was just talking to them a minute ago saying it was a good fight and that they kept up really, really well. It's been a wonderful tournament so far.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, both of you played extremely well in that matchup. I really do think it was just another situation of like getting hard countered by build choice.
Not gonna lie, as I actually just said this a minute ago, where competitors were chatting, there were a few moments there where I fully expected to get staggered and just mulched because the AC I run, Sunflare, is an ultralight. It has less than 9,000 AP completely, and very low defenses. So a single stagger can be the difference between a victory or a loss, and that's why I always am moving very rapidly.
Absolutely, and I think that was an incredibly wise call of you to switch off that coral generator. That was like the one serious disadvantage that you would have had in a slugfest against a heavy AC, is running out of energy in those critical moments, allowing Red Oni to come back and smack you around. But since you switched to a combustion engine, you didn't have nearly as much downtime, which definitely gave you a solid advantage.
Indeed, and one thing I also did when I switched up my loadout on Sunflare a bit was I had, in testing a while ago, noticed that combinations of direct fire and swarming missiles, either the missiles that break up into a swarm just before impact, or the dual missiles where they arc in from different directions, combining them together was yielding really good results for me, and I noticed that was paying off well here because there wasn't really any way to evade without taking sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of the thing, is that Red Oni kept going and kept hitting you over time. Could have absolutely won the war of attrition, but you were able to keep the pace and determine the pace of the fight, and I really think that's what sealed the deal for you on that victory. And also further reminding everyone in the audience that the Ransetsu RF is insanely strong.
Yes, it is. People underestimate it as one of the starting rifles for many AC pilot out there, but it's incredibly reliable. There's a reason Baus is well known even for RUBICON, and that's what.
Yep, absolutely. And that's an important thing to all of you new pilots out there just landing on RUBICON 3. Don't sleep on your early equipment, even in the later stages of the fight. Some of that stuff is really good. I personally love to run dual trigger Ludlow builds in my spare time. But yeah, thank you so much for your participation. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the semifinals. Do you have any closing thoughts that you'd like to say to us, the audience, or to the fellow competitors?
I would like to say that so far it's been wonderful watching all of these fights so far. Every single competitor I've seen or gone up against has been spectacular and highly skilled, and I look forward to seeing what comes to the rest of this, and I hope to see more of the rest of them in the future, in this tournament or others.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We'll definitely have more tournaments, and I think that this will help drive interest for people to play Armored Core more in our server in general, which is something I look forward to, because I would love to have random exhibitions and scrimmages and stuff in the future, as well as organized tournaments. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for participating. And you can breathe easy for the rest of the evening. If you'd like to stick around and watch all the other matches, you can. If you have somewhere to be, you're more than welcome to dip out. And again, thank you for your participation.
Yeah, I think I'll probably stick around and keep an eye on how the rest of things pan out. I know probably read some messages from the Mercenary Support Network while I do that. Getting right through them.
Awesome. Well, I hope that you have a good rest of your time. Congratulations again, and we will see you at the semifinals.
Thank you.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wonderful. So, Script Kitty, our first confirmed winner of the group stage, moving to the semifinals. Excellent competition by everyone involved.
Yeah, taking in one more look at that bracket. So we got three matchups left for today's tournament. For the first stage of the tournament, we are running a little bit behind schedule, but thankfully it seems like everyone's on board to see this stage through. And all things considered, things could have gone way more off course than this. So kind of silver linings, counting my lucky stars.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason why we're behind schedule is because of the technical difficulties that we faced at the beginning of stream, and it's truly not that big of a deal. We're doing really well. All of our competitors have agreed to stay around, which is very cool of them. And we also appreciate all of you in the audience for sticking around with us through thick and thin. I've been keeping an eye on the view count, and honestly, our view counts remained more or less the same the entire stream. We really appreciate your continued support. To get real and peel back the veil for a minute, to peel back the kayfabe, Daisy and I have spent a lot of time working really hard on this. This has been a project that has been about 3 months in production, and we were nervous as heck about how it was going to go and how many people were going to be willing to participate, and what we were going to be able to bring to the table. But I think we brought something truly unique that you don't see very often in streaming, especially in like more indie streaming, smaller scale stuff, and especially in Armored Core, because there are plenty of people who host, community tournaments and will do ranked matches, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone do a tournament of this scale and of this production value here on Twitch. And I'm incredibly happy that we have been able to pull out all the stops for this, and I'm very much looking forward to future tournaments where things will be more refined, even more clean cut and precise, and even the production value might go up a little bit. We have a lot of things we wanted to add. I myself, as a musician, have been looking forward to perhaps making some tracks that could be used for trailers or during the streams themselves. So I'm really excited to show all of you more of what we got, and I want to give a big thank you to my partner as well as co-host and leader of this stream, because it's on her channel, Daisy Bunny. Mwah. You're doing an excellent job, sweetheart.
Yeah, it's well, I'm not gonna lie, I think at 2 hours in I was like feeling like I was gonna pass out. I'm feeling better now, thankfully. Good.
I will say though, we should probably take another 5-minute break, because it has been a little bit, and I also need to use the restroom, so that would be a good time. But before that, we should read off another one of our corporate sponsorship messages. Would you like to do the honors, Daisy?
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so this tournament is sponsored by Elcano Foundry. Elcano, fly faster, hit harder. Huh, nice. Simple, sweet, to the point.
Yep, just like Elcano's arsenal, their motto is short, sweet, quick, and to the point. They're the creators of some of the most illustrious parts that we've seen on display today, including those delightful Trueno missiles that have been the bane of some of the pilots'
Right.
existence and a personal favorite of mine.
They really knocked it out of the park with that one.
They absolutely did. I will say, I am very much indeed involved at the corporate level with Schneider, but I have a soft spot for Elcano's offerings. They got some cool people working there, some cool dogs, if I might say so myself.
Yeah, hopefully not too many suits are watching this broadcast.
Schneider and Elcano partner with each other every now and again. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. Think
True.
of the different businesses that operate on Rubicon 3 as a sort of very weird, kind of toxic polycule.
I mean, I guess if you consider that like corporations are people, then sure.
Well, they'd like you to think that they are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe All Might is that'd be the only one. Anyway, probably a good time to go.
All Mind
and
is
take
indeed
a
a
little break.
people and exists for all mercenaries. I really wish that would stop happening.
Give me my co-host back.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, I think we ought to take that break now. We'll be back soon, everyone. Take 5.
Yes, go get your stretching and sippies. Whoops. There you are. You're
I'm-
gone for a second there.
Don't mind me. I caved and now I'm eating on stream. Although I'll turn my mic off. I've got pretzels.
Oh. I got noise suppression on, so can't hear me. I can stealth eat. Well, you'll probably see it on my face when I eat because
Because we can see you munching.
yeah.
But welcome back. For those who might just be joining us at the beginning, we are at near the tail end of our first ever Armored Aces Rubicon Rumble tournament. Myself, Spiral Galaxy, and my co-host and leader of the stream, Daisy Bunny VR, are live at Baus Arsenal 2, showcasing some amazing talent from some incredible pilots.
Yeah, we got 3 more matchups remaining. 2 losers bracket matchups and 1 winners bracket matchup.
Yep, so our current matchup is going to be Smazu versus Five Eyes.
Oh, by the way, I think we need to update the losers round. Wait, did we do that yet?
Nope. Nope.
Oh, right. It was
We're still on track.
Yeah. You're right. You're
So
right.
now we just got to get Five Eyes in the lobby, and we should be good to go for the next match.
Yeah. Oof, man. I very admire commentators that can keep it going for that long. I feel like I'm running out of wind a little bit.
Can you imagine being a baseball commentator doing this for like 7 hours?
Man, that's just. I would say that's inhuman, but you know we're augmented humans, so that's not quite.
To be honest, baseball games don't quite last 7 hours. It's usually more of a like a 4 to 5 hour thing, but it really depends. It depends on how many extra innings. All right, and our competitors are all set to go. I can already tell from the mech name that Smazu has changed things up a fair bit, making some promises in chat for our certified soup enjoyer.
Yes, it's Wing Grazer now.
Wing Gazer.
Oh, Wing. I mean, it would still be kind of an appropriate
It'd be a
name.
Wing Grazer if it was Five Eyes because of the goat.
Fair. Well, grazing as in like very close to hitting something, right?
And we got the dual soup. The
Oh my
dual
God.
soup with the basho and the
Oh.
oh no, that's the lightweight linear rifle. Excellent call.
That missile system's gonna be really hard for Five Eyes to contend with. At least I've seen a lot of pilots really struggle with it. It's definitely something that Five Eyes is gonna need to play around.
I gotta say, massive respect to Five Eyes for keeping the same build throughout the entire tournament. That's an impressive feat. The only one to do it so far, and it's been working out quite well for them.
There is merit. There is something to be said in knowing your mech really well.
Going for the coral pulse armor and the shields. Both pulse armors coming out. Five Eyes
at a
lower
slight
on the
disadvantage.
AP, but it's not over yet. Now those soup missiles, everyone, those soup missiles are solid. Being able to shoot them quickly in succession. Five Eyes getting some good damage on the stagger. Smazu low on AP. Could be anyone's game at this point. And Five Eyes gets the first win of the match. Those soup missiles are no slouches. They are a force to be reckoned with. Smazu is definitely not out of this.
No, not by a long shot.
Five Eyes showing everyone in the tournament that recursion embrace works, and that's all they need. Nothing
Yeah,
more, nothing less.
I think that if there is to be said, there's something to be said about Five Eyes is they have mastered their mech.
Throwing out that coral pulse armor, a very wise choice to use a coral engine, considering the moonlight. And that
Ooh,
plasma
couldn't
blade
quite
cuts
make it.
right through the pulse armor.
That
Oh.
moonlight sword is just very been oppressive throughout the entire tournament.
Despite the low energy specialization scaling, Moonlight's still performing extremely well in the damage. Smazu is not out of this one yet. Smazu's probably going to play it safe, try and bide time, making good use of those soup missiles.
Five Eyes really trying to avoid getting staggered there. Their stagger's been going down very slowly. They did get stagger.
Excellent shot. Excellent shot with that linear rifle.
Smazu could not capitalize on that at all, however. Oh, it's over.
And the Harris knocks Smazu down. Five Eyes, first win of the match.
Yeah, I think Five Eyes really knows their mech from the top of the head to the bottom of the soles. Probably even knows where every single screw and bolt and processor is located, and just using that mastery of their mech to completely dominate their opponent, even if their opponent might have a build that is stronger than them. If they don't know exactly how to counter Five Eyes, it's going to be very hard for them to handle them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Five Eyes is full faith and confidence in their build. They don't feel like they need to change a thing. And all that confidence shows in the level of experience they have dealing with all sorts of build combinations going against them. It's honestly an impressive thing to see.
It seems like Smazu is going to switch things up, getting back to the garage to maybe swap out some weapons. We'll have to see.
It's definitely possible. I think throwing the Coral engine out there was definitely not a bad idea. Coral Pulse Armor, fun fact for those who don't know, Pulse Armor can be canceled out by Pulse Weaponry, but Coral Pulse Armor cannot be canceled out by Pulse Weaponry. It does not do canceling damage, so it's actually a really smart strategy to take against Moonlight.
For
our next matchup.
So I have to admit, though, I'm a little bit surprised that so many of our competitors seem to be struggling against that Moonlight Sword. I have to admit, Five Eyes is using it extremely well, but from experience, from my own battles in the past, usually I didn't have too much of a hard time dodging it. So I wonder if it's just underestimating the Moonlight Sword. I feel like maybe people are just underestimating it and not respecting it enough.
The Moonlight is a solid option regardless of what generator you have, but if you have those Basho arms, it increases your melee damage, including with the Moonlight, oddly enough. Looks like Smazu going back to what works. Explosives thrower with the Orbit, not a bad call against someone as agile and as dexterous as Five Eyes.
They need to get close, though, to make use of it.
Oh, one heck of a whiff from that Harris. Five Eyes already getting staggered.
Good pulse.
Absolutely showing what the good call was. Going back to regular combustion engine. Honestly worth it if they can avoid all those Moonlight shots. The extra endurance that comes from a fast recharging engine can definitely make up for the advantages that come from the defense of the Coral Pulse Armor.
Smazu regaining a little bit of control of the battlefield. Hopefully they can keep it up.
The explosive thrower coming in clutch.
Oh.
Solid stagger. Oh! The downtown! The Kikaku engines! The Kikaku fucking engines! Look at that!
That
Someone
was
in chat
nasty.
fucking clipped that. That was amazing. That was sick.
Just timed that perfectly. Perfect distance, perfect timing. That was surgical. Duking it out.
Oh my goodness. That is the power of the Kikaku engines, everyone. That is the power of such long distance. Both pulse armors going out. AP deficit pretty much dead even.
Yeah, Five Eyes is probably a little bit more concerned right now. They're definitely going to have to be working a little bit harder. But, you know, I think they have confidence in their build, and they're counting on their experience with it to just carry them, and that is very respectable and also not a bad strategy. We'll see if it works out for them. Ooh.
Upon further inspection, I have just been informed and now just noticed that Smazu actually switched to the Flugel engines, which are the second highest rated engine in terms of melee distance. Just goes to show how strong that can be.
Smazu needs to be careful. They're really low on AP.
Smazu might be having connection issues. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it seems like there is. It seems as if this area of RUBICON 3 might cause a lot of interference with the mech's communication systems. Hopefully it clears out now, but if it occurs more, we'll probably ask both opponents if they feel like it was a fair match or if they want a redo.
Explosive thrower going out. Five Eyes throwing out the pulse armor to cancel out that stagger.
Yeah,
Deft
they're
movement on the part of Smazu.
They're really eager to use that pulse armor. I think it might end up backfiring at some point.
Oh,
maybe a little bit too
damage.
a bit too much of a trigger finger with that pulse armor. Although they have the AP advantage, so it's working out for them.
I think we might have been having some consistent connection issues in that match. I'm gonna double check with our pilots and see what happened.
We'll see what they think. The sportsmanship of the pilots has been nothing short of exemplary, and they have not been shy to redo matches when they have noticed that the opponent's armored core experiences abnormal malfunctions, which in most other circumstances people would take advantage of it, and it would be very difficult for referees to deny the win, as in it's not in the power of the winner to have changed anything. It's not their fault. But everyone's been such a good sport that they've been willing to throw away a victory if it meant a more fair match, which is very admirable.
So, got in a report from the pilots. Smasu had a heartbreaking moment of a controller disconnect. However, Smasu is being a very good sport about it and has agreed to take the upcoming round in the losers bracket, which means that Five Eyes is our winner of Group B, heading to the semifinals.
Yeah, it's very commendable for Smazu to literally take the L in this case, because especially considering that they're not out of the tournament yet, they still have the losers bracket, and it's
they still
honestly
have every opportunity.
Yeah, it's between you and me, it's more of an opportunity for them to show off their skill. they get to do more matches, and maybe that's what they want in the end. And
I gotta say, Smasu played incredibly well.
Oh yeah,
that pulse blade
absolutely.
attack from downtown with the Flugel engines, big correction there, not the Kikakus, but the Flugel engines, which are also plenty good at closing the gap in melee. Probably my preferred engine if I had to pick between the two of them.
Definitely in the top 5 moments of this tournament. Incredible display of skill, precision, and timing. My jaw dropped on the floor when I saw that I was certain that it was going to whiff. I was certain it was going to whiff. Either Five Eyes backing away just in time, because their stability was just about to recover. They were just about to recover from their stagger, and it was incredibly tight timing. So I was pretty incredulous there, but no, they that was pure skill right there. So let's see where we are at with the bracket. So we got 2 matches left, and
we have 2 matches left.
Losers round 2, and we're going to be doing Red Oni.
Group A and Group B.
Red Oni next up. Red Oni versus Mumbles, I believe.
So Red Oni and Mumbles, and that'll conclude all of the Group A bracket, and then we'll move on to the Group B bracket, and that will close it out for our stream tonight. We will have a sort of exit interview, not only with the winners of these brackets, but also with the losers, and we will also have a group get together at the very end to close out the night. Now, to be clear, I don't use the word losers in the sense that they are not of proper skill or of low skill. Everyone here is an incredibly talented competitor and a very excellent pilot, and has worked their butt off to get this far in the tournament, including the people who were eliminated at the outset of the tournament near the beginning.
Yeah,
I would say without a doubt that every single person here has had every potential to win. Everyone here definitely was
was, if only a kick or a slash away from winning, at least like one good round away from winning. And so the skill gap between the players is honestly much smaller than I thought it would be. It's there's definitely plenty of opportunity for reversals, for matchup differentials, like mech matchup differentials to spice things up, and also for unforeseen action on our players' part, as in like tactics, unusual tactics or builds to keep everyone guessing. All right, so let's go back to the lobby here. We are waiting on
Waiting on Red Oni to get inside the lobby.
Right. That is correct. We'll look at this. There we go. And here they are.
All right. Well, let's see what these competitors bring to the table. Oh, looks like Red Oni is ready, and so is Mumbles. They're good to go.
Not wasting any time.
None whatsoever.
Let's warm up those drones. The drop strips on their way to the
Let's rev up those fryers. Because I'm sure hungry for one supply of coral.
All right, now let's see what they bring to the fight. Ugh. So what do we have here? Mumbles.
Mumbles going with the double Etsigines, a Terreno missile, and something else that I can't quite catch. A very lightweight build. Solid choices all around.
Oh, that's
Red
different.
Oni going with the long-range laser shotgun, an excellent choice considering the rest of the build.
So
Mumbles has those
missiles,
laser drones on the left back.
Yeah, drones and Terreno missiles has worked. The drones have worked out very well for them. So that's going to be something that Red Oni is going to need to be very careful about.
Well, the good news is Red Oni's got that AP to make up the difference. A longer range shotgun that can hit hard at a distance and has the explosive power.
Just glancing shots so far.
Long tracking cruise missiles and the plasma missiles. Red Oni's in it to win it with that war of attrition.
Yeah.
Mumble's going for a much lighter weight option this time. Definitely gonna have to make some quick and fast plays, or she might get clobbered.
Yeah, Mumble's she's gonna need to play if she's gonna go for attrition, she's gonna need to basically play perfectly, because one bad stagger and it's just, I think that would be like irrecoverable loss of AP.
And it shows. Look at how Mumbles has been landing hit after hit, but Red Oni still keeping up. Barely a scratch on him.
Yeah, Red Oni definitely being the pursuer here.
AP deficit roughly about the same. Red Oni almost in the stagger.
Oh!
Nice hit with that charged shotgun shot. That's the real shit right there. But staggered right in turn.
That's why I said Mumbles one bad stagger and they lose the advantage.
Mumble's not out of it yet. Still plenty capable.
That's not looking good for Mumbles.
Both hitting the pulse armor at the same time. Who's going to eke out the win? Mumbles with that incredible last second dodge, but not enough to deal with that laser shotgun.
Yeah, so Mumbles
eking out the win.
So the issue here is that Mumbles is has a lightweight attrition build going against a heavyweight attrition build, and so that's not a really good matchup for them. They're going to need to be a bit more aggressive. They're not going to win the attrition.
I hesitate to even call Red Oni's build an attrition build, because that laser shotgun has incredible high damage potential.
Well, I call it an attrition build mostly because of the plasma launchers. Those plasma projectiles are essentially always going to hit, even if it's only for a little bit of damage. So I would definitely
Red
consider
Oni almost to the
this.
stagger threshold, getting hit by the stagger, taking a solid chunk of damage. Mumbles keeping it up.
Yeah, decent pulse
Neck and
armor
neck with the
activation,
AP.
but now they don't have it for the rest of the match, while Mumble still has theirs. So
Mumbles can
says hers.
easily, yeah, Mumble can easily dive in and out with her build. The speedy build combined with the double Etsugenes. And so if she can make use of that, she can avoid the worst of that shotgun damage just like that. She's really getting her workout. It's those Elcano parts, I tell ya. They're fast and agile.
Yeah. Still anyone's match. 45 seconds on the clock.
Almost neck and neck, dead even in the AP deficit. Mumbles getting chunked down a little bit. But keeping up the pressure. Oh, getting chunked again with that laser shotgun, and that closes it out. Red Oni sabotaging any chance at victory with that change of shotgun. I think that was probably the best decision he could have made when it came to changing up his build. Trading out that short-range shotgun for the long-range one with that blast potential works perfectly with his build.
Yeah. Red Oni definitely increased the flexibility of his build. He got a little bit of long range, a little bit of short range. It got some things to keep up the pressure especially again, I cannot emphasize enough that those plasma launchers are a big game changers, especially against those light builds. Whenever I've been in a light mech, if I went against a plasma launcher, I would get very nervous. You're so fragile that the accumulative damage from those plasma launchers, it adds up over time. It's not that much. Even if you dodge, you're not gonna get chunked, but it adds up over time, and it makes it very, very difficult to win the like an attrition fight, which I would say this was definitely on the whole like an attrition fight, because there was some decisive moves here and there at a couple of key moments, but on the whole it was a lot of slugging it out at medium to long range, with a couple of times where they both went in and just essentially pressed all the buttons in their cockpit, trying to get as much like firepower out there, and see who would come out on top. Unfortunately for Mumbles, in that case, Red Oni had the mech with more armor, and so it was just not a good matchup for them. They really, the garage kills in this case, as some might call it, the garage skills really coming out, getting into play here, and giving, I would say definitely giving Red Oni the win here.
Yeah, Mumble still has every chance to get a good victory out of this, but she's gonna have to play it a little more aggro to really build up that stagger pressure. If she can keep that up, it should be plenty easy for her to get a good victory, because that's the thing about the heavy build is, yes, it can tank a lot of damage, but it's also really hard to remove all of that ACS strain. It recovers a lot more slowly. So if she can keep that pressure on, she could easily get a win.
Yeah, it's just that Mumbles cannot underestimate the amount of armor that
Ooh,
the
is that
Red
the
Oni's mech
Therapist
has.
stun bomb launcher?
Ooh, wow, that's
It's a
unusual.
Ronsetsu RF with the Therapist launcher. Therapist launcher, an unusual weapon, but quite good.
Well, I haven't seen it in the tournament yet. We'll see how it fares.
Drano missiles and a small missile rack? Oh no, it is the Therapist. It is the Therapist. This could be an interesting combo. Building up damage with that electricity buildup is a good way to put solid damage on a heavy build. Not a bad call at all.
Yeah, Mumbles going with a little bit more of a heavy armor build. Hopefully it works out for them and it's the right strategy. Definitely makes them less fragile, which keeps them in the fight for longer, which increases them their chance of winning, especially against Red Oni's build.
I don't think that Mumbles has changed up her actual AC parts at all. I think all she did was just change her weapon setup.
I think you might be right.
And look at that damage. The electricity status chunking Red Oni's AC. Dodging so many of those charged shotgun shots, she knows what she's doing. Red Oni going for the preemptive pulse armor, trying to hit that charge shot, but it did not connect. Mumble's definitely getting the advantage with this new weapon setup. Red Oni a little bit on the back foot.
Yeah, I think that was the right choice on Mumble's part.
Solid hit.
Hopefully they can like close the deal.
Coming up on that pulse armor, let's see what it does.
They need to use the advantage.
That electricity damage is absolutely worth it. She's closing the gap on Red Oni. Is he gonna get staggered?
If he gets staggered, that's over for him.
Going for the kick, wide open. And
Yeah.
there goes Red Oni. That kick sealed his doom. Mumbles clobbering him with that electricity damage. That's going to be the big thing he needs to worry about. Sure, Red Oni can go toe-to-toe with straight-up damage, but when you put on status effects that take whole chunks out of your AP, that's a serious danger.
We do
Mumbles
seem to be
definitely
getting some slight connection issues. Hopefully they clear up.
Assuming all pilots are okay with it, we will continue the match as decided. Otherwise, we're more than welcome to do a rematch.
It's 50-50 on AP. Oh, Red Oni taking a big
Red
chunk
Oni
of
getting
damage there.
staggered. Mumbles being able to keep up and stay out of the way. Going for the pulse armor.
In response, Mumbles also goes with the pulse.
Mumbles' pulse armor completely negating that charged shotgun shot.
If Mumbles can keep this up, keep up the pressure and the momentum, and keep Red Oni on the back foot, I think they might stand a really good chance of having this match on lockdown.
She's doing an extremely good job of keeping up the pressure, and it's very much going to Red Oni's detriment. The stagger again. Is this going to be it? And that's it. Closing out this match, leading into a tiebreaker. Mumbles with the victory in this match. We're going to yet another tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Mumbles
It's,
showing her knowledge of AC parts and weapons and hard countering Red Oni's build. Hard countering. That was nuts.
It's definitely been a war of the garages right now, the garage builds. The skill level of Mumble and Red Oni is very close, and so they're trying to edge out a win by getting what they think is going to be the mech build that's going to counter their opponent, because they know that otherwise they don't want to leave it up to chance, right? They want to get that mech that's going to dominate whatever build their opponent has. And I definitely think that this is what's going to decide who's going to win here. It's who's got the better mech to counter the other person's mech. So we'll have to see what they bring.
It's going to be interesting to see how Red Oni changes up his build. He likely will, at least a little bit. We'll see what he thinks can make the difference. Both competitors acting incredibly well throughout these entire matches. Pretty much just trading match setup blow for blow, because Red Oni kind of dominated the first match, and then Mumbles came in and dominated the second. It's anyone's game at this point, truly. It'll be interesting to see how they stack up against each other. Maybe Mumbles will pull out something different to keep Red Oni guessing.
Wouldn't it be funny if by a cosmic coincidence they both deployed the exact same mech?
That would be hilarious, and I would love to see it.
Statistically, that's not going to happen, but it would be funny. So, Red Oni deploying the Valkyrie VF1S. I don't think I know that model. It's probably, it's almost definitely a custom. 90% of the mechs that we've seen here are, if not completely custom, at least part customs, that's how mercenaries roll. They never stick with any of the default mechs provided by corporations.
As one would expect from independent mercenaries or those in the Liberation Front. After all, the Liberation Front is full of tons of young, spry, and fit individuals who are working really hard to fight for what they believe in. And as a result, they pretty much use whatever's on hand. And that can be any sorts of things. It can be the latest and greatest, or it can be that old junker that they found off the side of the road. Either way, they make it work. And I gotta say, I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I must admit, it's been a little bit uncanny seeing the sheer number of Institute parts. that these mercenaries have been having access to. As we all know, the Institute Tech has been much more widely used ever since the Institute City has been found and the parts have been put on the black market. But they're still not that easy to find, and they're very, very expensive. So to see them used on so many of these mechs and just like, especially used for a tournament like this where mechs are used a bit of a dime a dozen, because these are all mechs that like they're put in the terrain, they're dropped in, and once they're destroyed, hopefully the cockpit isn't breached. Most of the time it isn't. So these are augmented humans we're talking about. They can take a punch and walk it off like it's nothing. But
yeah,
still,
it's interesting.
Still.
It's interesting that you mentioned that Institute Tech. Kind of crazy. I agree that it's been into the rotation so much. I heard that had something to do with that that pilot with the bird name. Which one was it? Pelican, I think, is what we thought the name was.
I think Albatross, maybe.
Albatross? Crow? Yeah, some kind of corvid, maybe? I don't know. But either way, supposedly they're responsible for the resurgence of some of this tech showing up in the markets.
Well,
and it's really interesting to think about. Wonder where all that comes from.
Smugglers are definitely happy with the whatever caused all those Institute parts to flood the market.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting that you mention it. Eagle, perhaps? It could be Eagle. It's interesting that you mention it, because I kind of expected a lot of the parts here to be corporate backed, but since we have so many independent mercs, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, definitely a lot of crazy technology on display. Lots of bleeding edge stuff, but also counterbalanced by just a lot of normal, regular ballistic weapons.
Red Oni going with the wall kicker.
Ooh.
Changing up the game. I see a songbird on that back. Mumbles sticking with what works. A smart call. Maybe some part changes, but other than that,
yeah, definitely keeping an eye on Red Oni, seeing how this new build works out for them.
Red Oni. I see a pulse blade on that left back slot.
Oh.
Red Oni going for the fast slugger build. Trying to keep Mumbles off balance. Might not be a bad idea against that electricity launcher.
Yeah, that rocket launcher. Oh, what a hit.
Oh, Mumbles getting hit with a stagger. The pulse blade doing big chunk. A stagger on Red Oni getting chunked in equal measure. They're neck and neck. It's going to be another one of those fights. An all-out brawl between two speedy heavy hitters.
Mumbles definitely need to watch out for that rocket launcher, though. It moves faster than it looks.
Hitting the pulse armor, nearly getting completely canceled out by that pulse blade. Good combo, good read by Red Oni. Red Oni almost in the stagger. Could it be? Oh!
So, Red Oni there trying to use that building to obscure the position and trying to bait out the enemy into rushing at them, but unfortunately that gamble didn't pay off.
It was a good gamble. If Mumbles had gone up, Red Oni would have been right there with the pulse blade getting some serious damage, but it did not work out, and those Torino missiles gave him the proper punishment. Trying again with the pulse blade, getting a little greedy. Not much damage put on Red Oni at this point, still very much in the fight.
Yeah.
Ooh, solid hit with that bazooka.
Yeah, Mumbles is definitely using their mobility to their advantage, but they still need to be careful. That rocket launcher can put you from 100 to 0
assault
in
armor.
no time.
Putting the pulse armor out. Red Oni getting chunked, but still very much in the fight.
Red really needs to watch that stability bar.
Oh, this could spell doom. This could spell doom.
That barely alive, and that's
the
kill.
All she wrote for this set. Mumbles, the overall victor of the set.
So I believe that makes an additional elimination and an additional interview.
It does. Unfortunately, despite
Actually,
his best efforts and some
interviews.
very strong efforts were had. Yeah, well, it's true. We have 2 interviews to work up to. Red Oni is eliminated from the tournament, and Mumbles will move on as the second place in Group A. Well fought by all parties involved. That was an excellent matchup.
I believe it would be fair to bring in the victor first, and then Red Oni.
Oh, I was actually going to say the opposite. Bring in the person who was eliminated, and then bring in the victor.
I feel like letting the person eliminated have the last word is probably, like, I don't know, more thematically
you make a good
appropriate.
point. You make a good point. Hang on, let me contact our pilot right now.
I'll definitely say I've been. So full disclosure, Red Oni is another one of my partners, and I have been fighting against them a few times. I have to admit, I have been underestimating Red Oni. They've been doing it much better and gone much further than I thought they would initially, which speaks more to me underestimating them than anything.
It's true. It looks like we already have our winner in this bracket here. We've got Mumbles. Let's go over to the interview corner.
There we go. Hi, Mumbles. How do you feel?
Hello.
I'm feeling pretty good. The matches have been really fun to fight and watch so far.
That's awesome.
Really cool combos of weapons, really good garage management, everything's just been really good.
Okay, I have to ask you, how scared were you in that last match?
A little bit. I was more scared about the chainsaw, to be honest.
That's hard to beat.
That's completely fair.
I could hear the Doom music kick in as soon as the chainsaw came out.
That was a real boss battle for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vespa definitely pulled out all the stops for that last matchup. But I gotta say, I really appreciate your build choice throughout all of this, keeping a nice balance between medium weight and good speed, and also changing up your build weapon-wise to accommodate the changes in your opponent. I think that you did an extremely good job of like reading people's playstyles and countering them. Like the way you hard countered Red Oni's like heavier set build in that second matchup, that was insane.
To be honest, that was sort of a Hail Mary. I was like, you know what? I'll try the stun bomb launcher. It might work, it might not work. But it turned out to be the thing that basically won me those matches.
Yeah, I'm getting in some information from our insider corporate sources that it might have gotten a power increase recently. A little bit of a balance pass through, if you will. So it's no surprise that it performed well.
What, is this some kind of video game?
Maybe.
Well, sometimes
yeah.
life is a game.
That was awesome. Congratulations to you. You are the secondary winner of Group A, so you will move on to the semifinals to compete against Script Kitty. I guess we should ask. Do you have anything that you'd like to say to the audience, to us, to your competitors? Any final thoughts that you want to get out?
Keep on being good pilots. Keep on being good mercenaries.
Heck yeah. Oh, that's wonderful to see. As we said with everyone else, you're more than welcome to dip if you have things that you need to do. Otherwise, we encourage you to stick around for this last matchup that we have here.
Oh, I'll be able to stick around. I'm not missing it.
Awesome. We appreciate it.
Also, trans rights are human rights.
Yeah. By the way, trans rights are human rights. Do you see that flag there?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember that, everyone in chat. I'm sure most of you already know that, but in case you didn't, we here on Rubicon 3 support trans rights and the liberation of trans people.
I would just like to make one more statement. I am not the Rubicon Liberation Front paid me to make that post making fun of the corporations. It does not reflect my views on the corporations, FYI. If you guys still want to hire me, FYI.
You disavow.
Salem?
Fishing for those contracts, I see.
Well, such is the life of a mercenary on Rubicon 3. But yeah, thank you so much for your participation. I look forward to talking with the rest of you at the end of the stream.
Thanks for staying
and
longer than
yeah,
planned.
thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that for every competitor. Like, we could have easily ended stream around the 4-hour mark like we wanted, but I appreciate that everyone was willing to power through the technical difficulties with us and stick around, because that not only makes for an entertaining experience, but it also just makes it a lot easier on our end. And so we appreciate the continued support.
Yeah, no problem. It's been fun.
I'm glad. All right, well, we gotta get Red Oni in here. So thank you so much again for your participation, and we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty. Be seen, yeah?
Yeah, take care.
All right. Now, next up is Dear Red Oni. Something's gonna change.
Book me in, coach.
Well. Who do we have here?
Wow. Some kind of Oni of a red variety.
Yes, yes, that is what they call me.
Well,
Oh man.
well fought. You really like made great use of all of your builds, but I am just very impressed at how well you made everyone know and understand that heavy builds are not to be underestimated.
No, yeah, I see. The first thing I went with was like, okay, like everyone else is doing all of this stuff. What can I bring? What can I bring to the table that's not only different but kind of help me punch above my weight? And I feel like the Anvil Crawler is exactly what we needed to throw off that balance.
Oh, I completely agree. That choice to swap out shotguns for the longer range one with the explosion, fucking mwah, chef's kiss. Mwah. Excellent choice in my personal, totally unbiased opinion.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, right? Here's what I'm gonna say to everyone, right? I love mechs. I love looking at them. I love being in them. I don't really like looking at numbers. So most of the time when I make my decision, it's just kind of like, what's the coolest thing I can put on this thing? Of course, for this tournament, I quickly learned that wasn't going to be very viable. So I decided to do what gamers call a midbrain move and start trying out different parts. And I think that sort of paid off for a while anyway, before I got utterly mulched.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's kind of the nature of the game, right? Is like sometimes you both play well and it's completely based on who outperformed the other, and then other times you get hard countered. And there's nothing to really be said about that other than just like you can't always predict for everything.
Absolutely not.
I will say you are definitely a top tier player in the fashion game, because I think that your mech is one of the prettiest ones on the whole field.
Oh, thank you. See, it's so much fun. It's so much fun doing just like every aspect of mech building is just so much fun. Even spending more hours than you actually are piloting it, just spray painting it in the hangar, nearly passing out from the fumes. You know, it's all part of the love for what we do here. And you know, I think it pays off. Cause my mech looks like a living, walking thundercloud, and who isn't in awe of that, even when they're curb stomping me?
Exactly. I completely agree with you, and I think that everyone in the tournament has great fashion on their ACES as well.
Yeah,
everyone's putting so much effort.
Pink Mist, like, oh man, I love the aesthetic. Listen, there's nothing more I love. There's nothing more I love than those bright colors as I am facing down someone on the battlefield.
That high contrast color scheme that tells you that they don't care how well they blend into the background. They care about making a statement.
Absolutely. So yeah. And everyone has just been fantastic. Really, again, like, I wasn't expecting to get as far as I did. Everyone has been excellent pilots. And so, nothing but respect for them. Of course, you know, yeah.
Not gonna lie, you were a little bit the underdog for me. I didn't think you'd make it this far.
I had no idea what to expect. I think that everyone has played so well.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
I think that everyone has played so well that, like, I had no idea who was going to end up getting eliminated first. And I think that regardless of who got eliminated, everyone has shown that they are more than capable of winning and doing their best. And I think that's really cool.
Yes. I agree 100% with that statement. I'm sorry, I'm very excited and very nervous right now, as you can tell.
You did great,
Again,
Han. Like,
fair.
it's like when I said I didn't expect you to make it this far. It's more like I was afraid that it was going to be really one-sided and you were going to be eliminated like really early on, and like I was hoping that wasn't going to happen. It's just like let's be fair, you and we've been sparring a couple of times, and well, I don't know, you always seem kind of intimidated by me, even though I'm really not the best pilot. So the fact that you made it this far is like, wow, what the hell? Did you go like Super Saiyan or something all of a sudden?
Well, I will say, do you have any like closing thoughts or comments for me, the audience, Daisy, or any of the fellow competitors?
You're all beautiful, and this was a product of passion. And if there's anything I love in this world, this crumbling world as is, it's passion. So stay passionate about things. Share that passion with others. You're all beautiful people, and I hope to see you on the battlefield again soon.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think that's all I can say.
Absolutely. We definitely intend to have more tournaments beyond this one, and I'm really glad that you were able to participate. But yeah, same thing as with everyone else. You're welcome to dip if you have things you got to take care of. Otherwise, we will see you in a little while once we've concluded this last set of matches and we close out the night with everyone.
Yeah, okay, sounds good, everybody. Stay beautiful, everybody. I'm gonna go scream. Goodbye.
Yeah, pretty much exactly the reaction I was expecting. All right, well, we shouldn't waste too much time standing on ceremony. We got to get this last set of matches in. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get done here right around midnight my time. That would be the ideal.
Yeah. I think if we keep the pace up, I think we have a good chance. So one last look at the bracket. The last two competitors for the first stage of the tournament, the next stage coming in at a later date for the semifinals and finals. These are technically the quarterfinals, and we're going to be doing the last matchup. It's going to be Smazu versus Autumn.
Actually, yeah, no, you're right. It's getting to the point in the night where we've been going for so long that I'm actually kind of forgetting who's who in the bracket.
We'll have to remind Mumbles and Red to vacate the lobby to make sure that no connection issues occur. There we go. So that's Red Oni.
I think we forgot to do the exit interview with Five Eyes, I just realized.
Did we?
Yeah, I think so, actually. Oops.
Oh, shoot.
We can do it after this match. It's not a big deal. We'll bring Five Eyes in for the last one. So sorry about that, Five Eyes. I think we forgot to give you your moment in the limelight.
Did we do Smaz? Did we interview Smazu as well?
Well, Smazu still has to compete. Smazu and Autumn still have to compete.
Oh, right.
See, I knew we were forgetting something. I kept thinking that we were forgetting something, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
Well, I guess perhaps we can do it now.
If you'd like. I guess that's up to you. Would you rather do it now or after we get done with these matches?
Let's do it now. Might as well.
Oh, I beat you to it, hun.
Right. So, is Five Eyes still with us? Yes. Oh, well, I guess you're taking care of it. I don't know why I'm doing it.
Yeah, I don't know why you're doing it. Like, I've literally
manic
been doing
right
this the
now.
whole
It's,
time.
my brain is in overdrive. my brain running on a Coral engine at the moment.
Okay, let's get Five Eyes in here. Get us in the interview corner, if you would, please, dear.
Yes.
All right. Oh my gosh. terribly sorry that we didn't bring you in for your interview, but you're here now. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, thank you. This has been a lot of fun. Everyone has been phenomenal in their performance. I think the 2 matches I've played so far today have, quite honestly, been the 2 best matches I've ever fought in AC6 so far.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to you. It's incredibly impressive to see you like use the exact same setup every single match and do as well as you have.
Right.
It's clear
That's
that you
crazy,
absolutely have like pitch perfect understanding of your setup, and it really shows in how well you performed.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd say I have full tuning with my AC. It's version 6 for a reason. And boy, howdy, you should see my other mech that I did the whole main game through. Got all the achievements for that. That one was actually the one that taught me how to use the linear rifle. But that one has gone through 15 iterations.
Oh goodness. Well, and see, that's the thing, is you iterate and then you reiterate and then you end up at a point where you have something that's so good that you can just stick with it for a while. And yeah, like there definitely are like some quirks with it, like, you know, like generator choice versus the damage that it affects the moonlight with, but you were still chunking people for lots of damage with that moonlight.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. I'm not actually using the charge on it. I think it's actually a little too slow. Even if you stagger someone, there's still just a little bit of time for someone, especially if it's a fast AC, to just get out. So it's really risky. I don't like it. I think it should maybe have the EN rate should have maybe affected its wind up as well. But the amount of damage it does paired with the Basho, if you have a better generator than what I'm using, it'll do a lot of damage, but it's very risky. Using the Moonlight, every swing you stand still, so it's scary using it. I don't always have full confidence using it, but sometimes you just gotta throw them out there.
Yeah, because like, at least with like melee weapons, a lot of times when you're using them, you're still carrying some forward momentum. So like you're trading the need to like get in hyper close with the Moonlight with the trade-off of having to stand still while you use it. And that definitely can put you in a tight spot, but you managed to make it work almost every time. There weren't too many moments where you were missing with it.
Yeah, I used to use the Pulse Blade a lot more. And now that I think about it, I'm not really sure why I'm using the Moonlight. I think it's just because of its range to it. Looking at the Redshift, actually, I'm not sure if I should switch to that because it has overall better stats with lesser charge, which I don't often use. But I don't know how effective it is against tearing down pulse shields, and that's kind of why I'm sticking with the Moonlight.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that pulse shields don't have the same like damage vulnerability to coral damage. The difference is that you're absolutely right that the Redshift with its like regular 1-2 combo especially would do more overall damage because it doesn't worry about energy scaling, but it would still get the scaling from your Basho arms. That said, using the regular Moonlight is really handy, especially if you know people are going to be throwing out pulse armor, and that's almost always what people have been using in this tournament so far.
Yeah, the explosive expansion is also really good. I'm surprised I have seen... It's probably the second most used one so far, but I'm surprised I haven't seen more of it. I think it's fairly devastating when used properly. I can't use it properly.
Yeah, neither can I. I'm almost always going for pulse armor.
I have to admit, like, it's very commendable that you've been using the same mech for the whole time, like for the whole tournament, just because it really shows that practice makes perfect. A lot of pilots are sort of have the temptation to fix an issue with their current matchup by switching parts, right? As in, like, they feel like the solution to their issues of fighting whichever mech they're matched up against is going to get resolved by switching things around, and it can work, but there is a downside to it, which is you're not going to be quite having that muscle memory, like being quite as familiar with what you've been working with. And I think we've seen in this tournament that sometimes some of the competitors were not using their mech in the way that their components suggest that the mech should be used, right? Whereas you're the archetype of just knowing your mech in and out, like being just one with your mech, you know?
Yeah, I really like Recursion. Its current color scheme and just weapon choices don't look anything like its original one. Its original coloration was a lot more closer to my VR chat avatar. The only remnant of that is its right arm, which is basically the closest I could recreate my VR avatar's robot arm. So that's why, if you're wondering what's up with the right arm, why is that one not green? Well, that's why.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I do like me some asymmetry in color palettes, so it was honestly nice to see. It's a very solid, striking design.
Thank you. I do regret actually tinkering with the decals a little more after I submitted it. There's a little extra black on the shoulders. There's some white striping on the leg. And my favorite addition is on the chest. One of my favorite bands, the Proto Men. I have Hope Rides Alone on the side of it.
Oh, sick. Nice. So, is there any closing comments that you would like to make to myself, Daisy, the audience, or our fellow competitors?
Yes, thank you both for doing this. I'm excited for the next one, and this one isn't even finished. All the competitors so far have just been phenomenal, amazing. I've been stunned by so many matches. And thank you everyone that's actually watching right now. That's right, I see all of you. Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you everyone. Thank you for your continued viewership. It's been really lovely to see so many people here for so long. And don't worry, we're about to close out. We've got one more set of matches left, then some exit interviews and a final review with everyone, and we will rate out and send some love elsewhere. But in the meantime, thank you so much, Five Eyes, for your participation. Congratulations again. I look forward to seeing you in the semifinals, and we will talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh. Okay, so let's get started with this next matchup. For the very last matchup of the night, we have Smasu.
Last but not least.
Last but not least, definitely not least, because these two competitors have put out all the stops in some of their matches.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be
Smasu
scary.
Plus Amber for the final matchup. Smasu and Amber both have been extremely strong competitors during this entire thing. We saw that matchup before with Amber. It was nuts, absolutely insane. Amber and Five Eyes both going for some insanely fast and hard-hitting builds. So fast that we couldn't even keep up with it. We were having a hard time noticing. But let's see what happens with this last matchup. I genuinely think that either of them could be the winner of this one.
Yeah,
I don't think that there's any possibility of either one of them having a complete blowout. It's going to be purely based on how hard they run. Going for the double soup with the double Etsigene.
Once again.
Smasu going for the cash money build. Love to see it. That's going to be fun.
Oh, missiles
double
versus
Etsigene
missiles.
on the Amber and the missiles. See, now this is the kind of fight that I can get behind. We have a lightweight mech with double missiles, double Etsigenes, but those missiles are multi-rack and designed for endurance, whereas Amber has the same type of build, but is designed for heavy, hard-hitting distance damage. This is going to be exciting.
This is an anime fight I've ever seen. One like akimbo like hand weapons and like mirrored like missile launchers. It's just like it's very iconic. It's very interested to see how it's going to pan out.
If you want your Gundam fight, here it is. Coral Engine with the pulse armor, not a bad call, honestly. Being able to tank it out with a Coral Engine isn't a bad idea when you're both in lightweight mechs. Neck and neck on damage, Smasu a little bit underneath on AP. Both of them coming to make the difference. Amber staggered, both staggered at the same time. They couldn't take advantage of it.
Wow, this is incredible.
Amber might have the advantage with those Tornado missiles.
It's a
so
greatest.
low. Both so low.
Oh my God, those dodges. Oh, magnificent dodges by Amber, but she just could not
Both
edge
players
it out.
playing so well to their strengths, dodging the best they can, making the most out of what they have. I truly think that the Coral Engine might be the difference maker in some of these engagements just because of how much more energy Smasu has over Amber. Both throwing out the pulse armor. Smashy's pulse armor going down a little bit sooner, taking some damage as a result. Amber
It's like-
still higher up on the damage.
It's like it's like we're watching like a mech in front of a mirror right here.
The soup missiles are really making it hard for Amber to pay complete attention without having to dodge. And Amber goes down again. A rough fight. It's clear that the missiles were the difference maker in this one. Smasu with the first victory of this set.
It's really amazing how the playstyle of these two mirrored each other so much. I really feel like in this case, Amber just suffered from just one slight slip up catching up with them. But I feel like had they been able to reverse the trend a little bit and get maybe an extra stagger on Smasu, I firmly believe that there was a really, really good chance that they win this this round in the set. Well, as we know, it's not over yet. We still have potentially up to 2 matches to go. It was really funny how I think this is the match in which the two competitors probably looked the most similar, both in playstyle and look.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, I think the difference maker there, not only the soup missiles, but also the Elcano setup that Smasu had, marginally more AP. Marginally more AP. I know the stats well enough to know that it had marginally more AP than the setup that Amber had, and that could also be a little bit of the difference maker. But we're getting into the next match, so let's see if anything, what they changed.
It'd be hilarious if they kept the same. I'm going to howl.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. They both have equal chance of winning in this matchup. Oh, the bullet orbits are coming out. The bullet orbits are coming out, bringing back the classic part of the build. Smasu determined to make the soup work. We're going full Gundam here. We're going full Gundam. I hope the certified soup enjoyer is watching this.
Well, you know what they say, soup's good for you. I mean, I guess someone says that.
Soup is good for the soul, and it's good for me.
The thing with the soup launchers is they have so much staying power. They just are very, very oppressive. It's like a constant barrage that just
getting
never
close
ends.
To the stagger. That's the thing, is that endurance is a key factor with Smasu's build. Oh, the assault armor. I had a feeling that Amber might throw that out. Adding the bullet orbit with a single Tornado missile, not a bad idea. Constant pressure that can help make the difference with those staggering matches. Both of them have the same relative stagger potential with double Etsugenes on both of them. Getting the stagger on Smasu.
Oh.
Whoa, both of them are so low. Oh, that might be it.
That was so close.
That was extremely close. Amber could have easily had that one in the bag, and that's what I'm talking about. Both of them have the same stagger potential with the double Etsugenes, but that bullet orbit will make a difference in those sustained engagements. If Amber can just keep up the pressure without taking too many hits of her own, she could easily win this.
Yeah, Amber really needs to just get in the zone, not think, not like hesitate. Just get in there and trust their gut instinct and do the best they can, and I think they have a good chance.
Use that Trueno missile at those distance moments, but otherwise, just get in there and brawl it out. She's got the assault armor. She can chunk. Speaking of chunk,
another simultaneous double stagger.
It's gonna keep happening. Double trigger weapons on the same AC setup.
This is looking bad for Amber.
Amber getting staggered, gonna get chunked. Going for it. Hit that stagger, but
good assault armor. Amber needs to just stay away
pulse
for a
armor
minute.
was thrown out.
No.
And that's all she wrote.
Amber just could not win the ending. The attrition at the end there was just a little bit too much. Couldn't keep up with it.
That was the really tough thing about that matchup, is it was purely just a matter of who could endure over the other, and in that moment, Smasu had the better build for that because of the Coral engine, because of the constantly rotating soup missiles that don't have to be reloaded until after you fired your third salvo on each one. That was the difference maker right there. Both of them played incredibly well, dodging attack after attack, matching each other stagger for stagger. That was an insanely good matchup.
Feels like this was like the fastest match we've had yet.
Without a doubt, probably the fastest matches that we've had. I truly think that Amber had every potential to win that one. I think the only difference maker was just not being able to last as long in sustained engagements. This was one of those moments where the Coral engine did genuinely help.
Yeah, it definitely feel like in this match, Smazu and Ember were like two sides of the same coin, like sort of the evil kind of the kind of evil twin, like the someone having an evil twin, right? When like they married each other so much, and like you saw how many simultaneous stagger that occurred in those matches. I think. If someone went back and looked through the footage, I would be very confident that this was probably the highest number of simultaneous staggers throughout the entire tournament was during this matchup. So that I believe that is 2 wins for Smazu.
Yep. Smazu is going to move ahead into the semifinals, and unfortunately, Autumn is eliminated.
Not for a lag at trying. I would, if I had to choose, right? Not to play favorites, but if I had to choose, I would say that MVP does go out to Ember, in my humble opinion. Even though they lost, the raw amount of skill that she has displayed, the raw amount of just pure reflexes and also very, very strong garage skill is just they had to overcome so much. They had to work so hard, and they really gave it their all to the bitter end. And I think
Absolutely.
It ended up being like a garage. I think it just ended up being a mech matchup that just wasn't quite up to par. Not that it was like they took gambles that were very good gambles, right? But they were risky, and it's just one of those times where, unfortunately, this time around it didn't pay off, even though it was a really good gamble.
Oh, absolutely. Like, to be completely honest, I think everyone in this tournament competed extremely well, but the 2 scariest people in the tournament, by a long shot to me, were 2 of the people that got eliminated.
Yeah.
Amber and Vespa.
Yeah. Like, he's thinking exactly the same.
Amber's speed is nearly unmatched, and if you get caught off guard, she will take every single little opportunity to exploit that and chunk you for all your health. And Vespa was doing the same, even going so far as to go full Insano mode with the chainsaw at the end there and actually making it work. That's horrifying. Like, I truly think that a lot of these matches were won in the garage, just like you said. It was simply just a matter of countering each other with good part choices, and that's part of the beauty of fighting on Rubicon 3, is sometimes just a little bit of part knowledge can go a long, long way, even if both competitors are equal skill. So, we should probably bring Smasu in for the interview.
Let's go into the interview room. Oh, wow. What a tournament. So, I mean, to be clear, this has been the last match of the first stage of the tournament out of 2 stages.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, we still have some corporate sponsors to thank. We have a couple more. I'll list off the first one. So, our tournament is generously supported by Takigawa Harmonics. Feel the pulse. Feel it in your heart.
I guess I'll read out the last one.
And with that, I will bring in Smasu. Yeah, we can read out the last one. We can read out the last one after we get done with these interviews.
Yeah, sounds good.
Welcome. Congratulations.
How does it feel, champion?
Well, potential champion. Still at the semifinals.
Well, champion for today, right? One day at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Celebrate the victory while you have it.
Yeah, I think Smazu might need to unmute.
Oh,
there we go.
Whoops. Talking to myself
I know, right?
there. So, hey, yeah, it's been good. A lot of good matches from everybody. I I thought I was gonna get knocked out there at the end, but
Right,
I did my darndest.
Rubicon's fierce full of surprises.
Yeah, scraped eye of like 100 a couple times, you know.
Absolutely, it came down to the wire almost every time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like everyone I've fought so far, top tier, great, love them.
I think like this tournament, I think a lot of it, a lot of what determined who was going to win versus who was going to lose was 50% garage. Like assume it, I'll say the skill level between everyone has been very close, right? And so I feel like the remaining, like if we say what really made like someone win over someone else, I will say it's like 50% garage skills versus 50% knowing when to switch from aggro to like being more defensive. Because as we saw with Ember and Vespa, right? I would say they're really the scariest opponents that were in the tournament. And I only think they lost just because like it was probably more in their blood to be more aggressive, right? And it doesn't make them like any less good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of it just comes down to, as you said, like situational awareness and just knowing the strengths of your build, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is like the main reason, at least to me, why you had the advantage throughout those last matches was just because you two had practically mirrored builds, but you picked the weapons and the generator that would allow you to last longer in sustained engagements, which allowed you to get higher damage potential overall.
Oh, absolutely. And also the thrusters. The speed thrusters for that one really made up for the lack of energy with the coral generator that I picked.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because if I'm gonna guess, you were running the speed thrusters in like the lightweight coral generator?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. They're a great combination. The handful of times that I ever run coral builds on my ACs, I tend to prefer the lightweight one these days, just because it overall is better to have that high speed with the capacity.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that on the double soup, that was a great call, and it was like you said, it came down to the wire every single time. Like, I think that Amber had every opportunity to come back, and almost did, especially with picking that bullet orbit too, because that kind of was almost the difference maker there. Like, that easily could have been either one of you getting a victory, and it's just lovely to see that both of you worked so hard, and you ended up coming out on top in this case.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Honestly, like I said, it was going to be like a 50-50. It was a coin toss. I know they're good, you know, real good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, everyone has definitely shown their skill level in this, and like, let the record show, regardless of what everyone's rank is, y'all played incredibly well, and definitely all of you have shown that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, gotta say, fan of everyone here. It's been good.
I'm glad that you've had a good time. Do you have any closing thoughts that you'd like to give to myself, Daisy, the audience, or any of your fellow competitors?
Build what you like. It'll end up working out as long as you practice and, you know the strengths of what you made.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll talk to you really soon, along with everyone else. We're gonna do the exit interview for Amber, and then we'll bring everyone in for a group call and close out the night.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, thank you again for your participation. Yeah, see you soon.
Yeah, later.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's bring in the last one. Last but not least. Note to self, I need to switch up the music I put on stream.
That's not a big deal. You know, it's the prep music. Welcome, dear competitor. You fought extremely hard and showed your skill. How do you feel?
Thrilled, honestly. Honestly, at the peak, it was, so thrilling. Honestly, my hands were shaking in that first round. That one was, probably the most close one. what else do I gotta say? Honestly, like, the strategy around these games weapons can be pretty interesting. Like, with the Trino, the nail launchers, like, I just kind of love how you kind of aim them in a way, like, you kind of have to look out for an opponent, just like, if they're not moving enough, and that usually gets them. And it's always just satisfying to like notice when that happens, because sometimes it can be hard. Like, sometimes you can have a bit of an itchy trigger finger for it. Yeah. I also just like using the dual Etsugen, like, ever since I picked it up, like, 4 months ago.
Yeah, like, and they got buffed recently too, so it's like they were already pretty solid, but now they're just straight up like oppressively powerful with a lot of builds, and you absolutely showed what they can do. I gotta say, regardless of the outcome, you were still like my favorite competitor purely in terms of build choice, because it's the closest thing to what I probably would have run in a tournament like this. So I was really happy to see you play as well as you did and make it as far as you did.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is with the when I was first like trying to come up with like the sort of build I usually use in that tournament, I always found it was like hard to take on like the heavier builds, honestly. And I think that's usually why I was using the that's why I used the dual missiles that one time. Like, that's pretty good at chipping away at the higher health enemies.
Yeah, and that definitely is one of the tough parts is dealing with those heavier builds if you're using a lot of kinetic weapons.
But I guess like I found the insane burst damage with Train was like doubling up on those. That was like probably very satisfying, just doubling up on that. I hadn't actually used that before, but I thought, maybe that would be a good idea.
It works really well. The scary thing about it is that, like, with the double Truenos, if you're able to stagger with just like your weapons alone or kicking or what have you, even if those Truenos don't have full lock, a stagger target is stationary, so you can shoot both of them or at least one of them and still get the damage off because they can't move. They can't react to it. It's too fast.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite features, honestly. It's just like free. I don't even like. It's like, oh hey, they still have ACS down. Like, there's only like a 10% chance that they can move in time. So
yeah,
fire it.
Absolutely. I've literally seen moments where people will do that. They'll throw pulse armor to try and mitigate damage, but the Terrenos are so fast that they hit him anyway, and then you just take him down.
That might have actually happened during the tournament. It's always fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely probably one of my favorite weapons just in general, and I'm really happy to see it get used as much as it did, especially on your build. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to be brave enough to double up on those, because it definitely is a risk, but it can pay off.
I guess as a final note, I'd probably say that, like, surprisingly, one of the more fun aspects of this tournament was, like, so much more pulse, or, assault armor, because, like, honestly, that was kind of fun to pull out, like, sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy that more people were using, like, assault armor instead of just pulse armor, because even though that's, like, what I would pick, I was just really hoping people would go full aggro with the assault armor sometimes, and it did pay off. There were multiple times where the assault armor was the difference maker, including for you. Well, thank you so much for your participation. I'm really glad that you had fun competing, and we're really happy to have you in this tournament. We're gonna do some like closing statements, and then we're gonna hop into the call with everybody else, and do a little bit of like a closing out before we read out. But I just wanted to say thank you again for your participation, and I loved watching you play.
Hell yeah. And thank everyone for like tournament and everything. I don't usually do this stuff, so it's nice to look into it.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we were able to put everything together. This turned out wonderful. But yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you again.
Hey.
Oh wow. All right, dear co-host of mine, we are finally at the end of the era. There are
are
only
we?
a couple of things left to do. We're don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's
Where
probably
am
for the best. It's probably for the best. So, we finally made it through our entire group bracket. We fought through the technical difficulties to get
yeah.
everything done.
Speaking of.
And we're here. So, just to go over the bracket one more time, the final four is going to be Script Kitty and Mumbles, Five Eyes and Autumn, and Smazu, sorry. So I think the way the structure is going to be is that the overall winner of Group A will go against the secondary winner of Group B and vice versa. But we will get to that in the future. The semifinals, followed up by the finals, will be their own stream with additional promotion and probably a little bit more production value. We'll see what we can figure out. But
Or
either
at least
way,
more polish.
or at least more polish. I'm incredibly happy with what we've done today. I'm incredibly happy with my contributions to it. I adore all of the things that Daisy has done for all of it. She's done, in my opinion, most of the back-breaking work when it comes to all of the back-end stuff, which includes setting up the stream, making the videos in video editing software and all that stuff. I helped with asset creation, promotion, and providing my sultry presence, or what have you. But
Red Oni
beyond
also
that,
provided a little bit of voiceover.
it's
for the
true.
trailer.
Red Oni did provide voiceover at the end of the trailer. That is Red Oni's voice. Red Oni is a known voice actor. One of his most famous roles being Stardust in the hit video game. Excuse me. I got something caught in my throat. What video? What video game? What video game? Please say, Daisy. I need to drink some water.
Project Wingman, no?
Yeah, Project Wingman. Thank you. Sorry. That snuck up on me.
I believe.
Yes, Stardust and Project Wingman. Thank you for that. But yeah, this was awesome. I don't want to stand too much on ceremony because I know that we got to get going and we got to raid out to somebody. So why don't we go to the group stage and walk into there. I'll restream myself so that you can put me up.
Oh, no, you don't need to change anything.
Oh, did you just want to bring everyone here?
No. You're correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to make a brief disappearance, but I'll come back in short order, and we're going to head over to the group stage.
Well,
Hello?
everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh shit, you're not here now.
All right. Where did I put?
Hello. I should be here somewhere. I'm not on screen. I'm not on screen.
Hold on.
Hang on, I gotta walk over to the group stage. They didn't give me a car.
I would have sworn that I had. Hold on, I
pay you
apologize.
enough for a
Wait,
car.
no. Here we are. We got it. And then stream.
I hear Raid makes some pretty good cars out of their defunct soup modules. Somehow.
It's not the camo. I'm just really far away.
There we go.
There I am. But yes, hello everyone. Hello, gathered participants. Thank you all for bearing with us on this, honestly, a kind of scuffed stream. Oh my goodness, but this was a heck of a time. I'm glad that all of you had fun.
Oh yeah, it's been
Fun
great.
times was
A
had by all.
lot of fun.
This was great. This is quite a blast. Great way to spend a Friday.
I agree. Normally Fridays are when we typically save for community nights every other week with our Discord server, but Daisy and I felt like this would be a nice, unique thing to do on a Friday that our whole community could enjoy, as well as all of you. And I'm overjoyed that we had so many people participating. I'm overjoyed that we got to this point, and that we get to continue it in the future with our semifinals and finals matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, yeah.
The words have been drained out of me, so y'all need to do the talking.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask you, Daisy, did you want to raid into Amy since she's streaming?
Oh, Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that'd be
Let's get
a good. Yeah.
We should come up with a raid message, but while we're doing that, competitors, if any of y'all have anything that you'd like to talk about or say or anything of the sort, like, feel free. This is your moment.
I don't know where I am right now, but I think I had a lot of fun.
Don't worry, you're just being sent to an Arquebus retraining facility. It'll be fine.
I hear there's a man named Snail who is very abundant there.
I also really hate
education
Drake
ever.
for some reason.
Ugh, fuck that guy.
You could say anything to me in Michigan's voice and I'd believe it.
But yeah, pulling the kayfabe aside for a second, I think it's obvious that the reason why we did this tournament is because of two things. One, we know a lot of cool people who like this game, and two, Daisy and I really, really, really like this game. I have been waiting for Armored Core 6 for like 11 years or something, because I didn't play Verdict Day. I only played Armored Core 5. So like I haven't gotten a fresh new experience with this series in over a decade, and when it finally got announced, I was frothing at the mouth to play it and experience it. Oh my god, it's been so fucking long, and to find out that not only was it a solid single player experience, but it had a really good multiplayer experience that was basically like tailor-made for the way the game functions. It just goes to show that FromSoft truly does care about every single product that they put out, and I'm not much
if
of
not the
like
netcode.
If not the netcode, yeah.
And the name filter.
Yeah, those are like the only two things that I really have like issues with.
They
as far
still
as the
need
way
to get a new
multiplayer
mouse
works.
to spin the wheel for the netcode.
Yeah, exactly. Like the netcode is still something to be desired, and the weird censorship of names can definitely be an issue, but they're definitely improving things over time, and I do think that the more games that they make just in general, the better they will get at these sorts of things.
Yeah, it makes sense. Hopefully whatever expansion or title sequel, whatever they go with for 6th generation is quite good, because I know basically every prior generation with 5th gen, 4th gen, 3rd gen, they hit it out the park with that, so.
Yeah, looking
I'm a
forward
little
to that.
curious though, because it's been such a huge amount of time since Verdict Day, right? Like the idea of number release and then the follow-up release. We're not in that era of games anymore. We've already seen AC6 already get a couple updates, or I think one update so far that's added new stuff, right? And I haven't really gotten around to playing some of the older Armored Core games, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think anything like that's been done. So I'm wondering if they're going to just do a smaller DLC as sort of the like follow-up bit to it. I kind of hope they don't. I would love to see a brand new story based on whichever ending they consider as canon for AC6. That's what I'm personally hoping for.
My thought process is, sorry, go ahead.
I personally would really love them to expand the multiplayer like they did for Verdict Day, because Verdict Day multiplayer had so much stuff. It had guilds, it had raid bosses, like you fought Mother Willigan and Verdict Day. No, there's so much stuff that Verdict Day did that they could possibly do in Armored Core 6, and I just want to see more multiplayer stuff.
Shoutouts to Luke Yui, the guy that did the Elden Ring co-op. They are currently working on AC6 co-op. They have a video up they posted a handful of months ago, and I've been checking almost daily to see if they've made any progress on their GitHub. So
Gonna start the
absolutely.
timer.
I heard about that. Well, I was gonna say we can start the raid here in just a second, hon. Oh, you're already gonna do it? Okay, that's cool. All right,
Oh,
well,
great
come
timer. We
one,
have
come
a
all.
minute left.
Yeah, exactly. Come one, come all. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I hope they expand on the multiplayer with this. I think that'll be really fun, and I think that's probably just the thing that this game needs. Whether we get a mainline sequel or we get a named sequel in similar fashion to the classic games, who's to say? I guess it really depends on how much they want to like chase modern trends versus follow their classic formula, but either way, I have very high hopes for the future of this series, and I'm so happy that FromSoft is giving it the love that it deserves, because it is the series that they were built off of. It's the thing that's responsible for Demon's Souls even existing.
Oh yeah,
They released the old games.
Yeah, before we
I'm
leave.
having trouble playing older kids.
Yeah, for real though. Bloodborne PC, when, please?
You got 30
Ever.
seconds to say whatever you want to say before the raid
Shout out
goes.
to the guy who made up a whole plot line about how Armored Core is also tied to the Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and rest of the Souls universe somehow. I have no idea
Right.
how you did it, but you did it. You unhinged Soul. Good job.
We have one
That's
more
amazing.
corporate sponsor that we have to thank. This tournament was brought to you by Furlong Dynamics. When you need ultimate control, you go for long.
Cave closed.
For how much longer though?
Long enough to finish out this raid. Thank you so much
5
for hanging in,
seconds.
everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. We love you all. Take care and say hi to Evie Doggy for us.
Bye.
Later.
See you later, everybody.
It was a blast.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead.
Don't forget to do the shout out thingy.
The what?
Oh, it's fine. Ignore me. My brain fuzzy